The Book of Formation. The Book of Formation, or Sepher Yetzirah, attributed to Rabbi Akiba ben Joseph, translated from the Hebrew W, with annotations by Knlt Slotenring. Fourth word by R. A. Gilbert. Introduction by Arthur Edward Waite. Ibis Press, an imprint of Nicholas Hayes, Incorporated, Berwick, Maine. First published in 2004 by Nicholas Hayes, Incorporated. P.O. Box 1126, Berwick, Maine, 03901-1126. www.nicholasHayes.com. Distributed to the trade by Red Wheel Weiser, LLC. P.O. Box 612, York Beach, Me. 03910-0612. www.redwheelweiser.com. Copyright 2004 R. A. Gilbert. All rights reserved. No part of this publication may be reproduced or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic or mechanical, including photocopying, recording, or by any information storage and retrieval system, without permission in writing from Nicholas Hayes, Incorporated. Reviewers may quote brief passages. Library of Congress cataloging in publication data available. Cover and text designed by Catherine Skypeck. Typeset in Caslin VG. Printed in the United States of America. 10-090807060504765432. 432. The paper used in this publication meets the minimum requirements of the American National Standard for Information Sciences. Permanence of paper for printed library materials. Z39.48-1992, R1997. Forward. Mysticism has been succinctly defined as the art of union with reality, a process that involves the mystic, in a greater or lesser degree, in a direct experience of God, as he or she strives to attain the goal of such union. By its very nature, the experience, which is common to the mystics of all religious faiths, cannot be conveyed in everyday language. The manner of its expression and its interpretation will vary according to the culture of which the mystic is a part. Within Judaism, the theory and practice of mystical experience are encapsulated 1ll written form in the Kabbalah, a complex system of teachings, both descriptive and prescriptive, received by divine inspiration, preserved in a series of ancient texts, and supplemented by an immense number of commentaries upon them. Among the earliest of these texts is the Sepher Yetzirah, or Book of Creation, that is generally, but inaccurately, known today as the Book of Formation. Gershom Scholem, the greatest of modern Kabbalistic scholars, wrote of the Sepher Yetzirah that it is a book, small in size but enormous in influence. This it unquestionably is, but whether or not it relates to mystical experience is another matter. It is, essentially, a speculative text on the mysteries of creation, or, in Scholem's words, a compact discourse on cosmology and cosmogony. The 6 brief chapters that make up the text present their author's cosmology by way of the magical powers and symbolism of numbers, and the numerical values and dot sounds of the letters of the Hebrew alphabet. At 1 Gershom Scholem, Kabbalah, New York, New American Library, 1987, p. 23. VVL forward. The very beginning of the first chapter, the nature of the divine creative process is set out. It is mediated by 32 mysterious paths of wisdom, which comprise the 22 letters and 10 ineffable Sephiroth, a name derived from the Hebrew word for counting. This concept of the Sephiroth as agents of creation is striking and original, and it has pervaded the symbolic structures of Western esoteric thought since the 16th century, when Latin translations of the Sepher Yetzirah began to appear. Although the text does not make their explicit, the Sephiroth are emanations, outpourings that descend or unfold from the spirit of the living God to gross matter. The first 4 are elements: spirit, water, air, and fire, while the remaining 6 represent directions in space, above and below, and the 4 cardinal points. Both the process of emanation and the nature of the Sephiroth themselves have been the subject of endless speculation since the Sepher Yetzirah first appeared. One of the earliest commentaries on the text is the 32 Paths of Wisdom, which has, since the 17th century, almost invariably accompanied translations from the Hebrew. In its essence, then, the Sepher Yetzirah is a prescientific attempt to describe and explain the creative acts of God. It is not descriptive of human experience of God and thus cannot be classified as a mystical text. And yet it is an integral part of the literature of the Kabbalah, which is certainly in the province of mysticism. How can this apparent paradox be resolved? First, by considering the origins of the text, who composed it, and when. Estimates of both range widely and wildly. Before the advent of critical scholarship and because of the references to him in chapter 6, the Sepher Yetzirah was ascribed to the patriarch Abraham, and even now there are those who cling to this improbable belief. Eliphaz Levi happily subscribed to it, but he lived in a fantastic dream world and it is impossible to separate what he truly believed from what he propagated as myth suitable for his system. More surprising is the support for a patriarchal origin given by Aryeh Kaplan, perhaps the most profound of recent students of the Kabbalah. In his edition of the Sepher Yetzirah, he states categorically that, forward VLL, so ancient is this book that its origins are no longer accessible to historians. We are totally dependent on traditions with regard to authorship. Point 2. Fortunately, he also tabulates the dates of Anglo proposed by the most important Kabbalistic scholars of the 19th and 20th centuries. Adolphe Frank placed the origins of the book at the beginning of the Christian era but felt unable to suggest an author, who was, he felt, as yet not discovered. 3. He was, however, quite satisfied that the famous Talmudist Rabbi Akiba, who was traditionally the most favored candidate after Abraham, had not compiled it. Isidore Kalish, the first translator of the Sepher Yetzirah into English, 1877, proposed a similar date, with which Knut concurs. He also accepted Akiba as the author, thus earning the dubious distinction of being the last serious student to hold this view. Other scholars concluded that the text was more recent. Both Joshua Abelson and Leo Beek placed it in the 6th century A.D. and in his introduction to the present version A.E. Waite tends to agree with them. Elsewhere, in the Holy Kabbalah, 1929, Waite admits that there can be no certainty over dating the Sepher Yetzirah and evades the issue by stating that, we must be content therefore to say that the first Christian reference to Sepher Yetzirah may belong to the 9th century, p. 98. The most thorough recent analysis of the origins of the text was made by Gershom Scholem, who concluded that, we can only be sure that the Sepher Yetzirah was written by a Jewish Neo-Pythagorean sometime between the 3rd and the 6th century. For Scholem also argued to Aryeh Kaplan, Sepher Yetzirah, the Book of Creation, York Beach, Me, Weiser, 1990, p. 9. 3. Adolphe Frank, The Kabbalah, or the Religious Philosophy of the Hebrews. First published in 1926. Revised and enlarged translation by Dr. I. Sosnitz. New York, Citadel, 2001, p. 86. 4. Gershom Scholem, On the Kabbalah and its Symbolism. Ralph Mannheim, translated from the German. New York, Schocken Books, 1996. Zurich, Rhine Verlag, 1960, p. 167. VLL1 forward that there are Gnostic influences on the text, and this is presumably his justification for finally settling on a 3rd century milieu for the author's ideas. There is no compelling linguistic date for assigning a later date to this book. 5. What remains entirely unknown is the identity of the author, but we can speculate as to what he was attempting to achieve with his cosmological text. Throughout the Sepher Yetzirah, the importance of certain numbers is stressed continually. The 10 Sephiroth are related to the digits of the 2 human hands, but no moral parallels are drawn, as with, e.g., the 10 Commandments, and there are 3 other significant numbers, 3, 7, and 12. These relate to the different types of Hebrew letters, mothers, 3, double, 7, and simple, 12. The natures and correspondences of the letters are analyzed in detail, with emphases on the sounds of their pronunciation as well as on the numerical value. All of this has long been associated with magic, although the early academic students of the Kabbalah did not believe that this was the original intention of the unknown author. Thus Frank saw the magical use of the text as illustrating how ignorance and superstition abused later this principle and how the so-called practical Kabbalah was formed, which gives to numbers and letters the power to change the course of nature. 6. It is probable, however, that this view of the author as a pious proto-scientist coming to grips with the problem of creation ex nihilo is wrong. Skolem sees an obvious connection between this linguistic mystical cosmogony, which has close parallels in astrological speculation, and magic, which is based on the creative, magical power of the letters and words. 7. It is also certain that from the 11th century onwards, commentaries on the Sepher 5 Skolem, Origins of the Kabbalah. R.J. Werblowski, ed. Translated from the German by Alan Arkush. Princeton, Princeton University Press, 1987. Berlin, Walter de Gruyter & Co., 1962, p. 29. 6. Frank, The Kabbalah, p. 79. 7. Skolem, Kabbalah, p. 26. Forward. LX Yetzirah give accounts of its magical use and project them back to Talmudic times. Judah ben Barzilai, 1082-1148, describes how the rabbis Rabbah and Zerah meditated on the text until they understood it and then magically created a calf which they slaughtered and ate. Less well known, but earlier than Barzilai's tale, is a story of how Jeremiah and Ben Sira created a man by means of the book Yetzirah. A later, 13th century, detailed and explicit account of this usurpation of the creative power of God is quoted by Skolem. Ben Sira wished to study the book Yetzirah. Then a heavenly voice went forth, "You cannot make him such a creature alone." He went to his father Jeremiah. They busied themselves with it, and at the end of 3 years a man was created to them, on whose forehead stood Emoth, as on Adam's forehead. Then the man they had made said to them, "God alone created Adam, and when he wished to let Adam die, he erased the Aleph from Emoth and he remained Meth, dead. That is what you should do with me and not create another man, lest the world succumb to idolatry as in the days of Enosh." The created man said to them, "Reverse the combinations of letters by which he was created and erase the Aleph of the word Emoth from my forehead," and immediately he fell into dust. 8. Such a magical creature is, of course, a golem, an unformed mass, or in this context, a body before the soul has been cast into it. In later popular literature the golem became a monster, a violent, destructive being that would grow continually until the name that empowered it was removed. The very concept is, however, far removed from whatever magic was perceived as being inherent by the Sepher Yetzirah. There is a clear ritual element in the processes based upon the text of the Sepher Yetzirah, but whatever magical operations were derived from it were not those condemned in the Zohar. That magical knowledge is governed by those leaves of the tree from which 8 Skolem, on the Kabbalah and its symbolism, p. 175x forward. Adam and Eve had made themselves girdles after the fall. Initially they made themselves acquainted with all kinds of magical arts, for the purpose of self-protection, but through their children magic divided into evil magic, on the side of Cain, and morally neutral magic on the side of Abel, Zohar I, 3:6b. Eventually these arts descended to the generation of the flood and were practiced for evil purposes by all men of that time, Zohar I, 5:6a. Some medieval commentaries on the Sepher Yetzirah suggest that students of it also used the Sepher Raziel, with its magical seals, incantations, and secret names 9, but most of them emphasize the piety and strict morality of those Kabbalists who studied the Sepher Yetzirah, and who recognized the wickedness of attempting to emulate the creative acts of God. There is also the possibility, considered in depth by Kaplan in his study of the Sepher Yetzirah, that the text was designed for meditative practices and could act as a gate to mystical experience. This is specifically the case with the 231 gates referred to in Chapter 2, from which is derived the complex geometric figure that Sten Ring describes as the great Kabbalistic symbol. It should be emphasized, however, that there is no certainty that either medieval Kabbalists or Hasidic mystics did systematically utilize the Sepher Yetzirah in this way, and it remains a contentious issue. At least, it does among academics. Occultists view the matter in a different light. What might be termed esoteric or occult interpretations of the Sepher Yetzirah begin with its translation into Latin and its subsequent distribution in printed form. The first Latin version of the text, by Guillaume Postel, appeared at Paris in 1552. 10 years before the first Hebrew edition, Mantua, 1562. This was followed by the translation of Johannes Pastorius, printed in the first volume of his Artis Kabbalisticae, Vol. 1587. Both versions were the work of Christian Kabbalists who attempted, with little success, to uncover Christian doctrine within Kabbalistic texts. The third Latin version is the most nine Scholem, on the Kabbalah, p. 177. Forward XL important. It was prepared by Johann Stephan Retaingelius and published in Amsterdam in 1642 and included the text of the 32 Paths of Wisdom. Modern language translations did not appear until much later. A German translation was published in 1830, the first English translation in 1877, and the first version in French in 1888. These are described by Waite in his introduction to the present volume, and much fuller bibliographical detail is given in Kaplan's version. All of these modern versions fall into two clearly defined divisions, the academic and the occult. Stenring is decidedly in the occult tradition. But exactly what is that tradition? It is best summed up in the approach to Kabbalistic texts set out by Eliphaz Levi, who wrote, in his History of Magic, the Zohar is a genesis of light, the Sepher Yetzirah is a ladder of truth. Therein are expounded the 32 absolute symbols of speech being numbers and letters. Each letter produces a number, an idea, and a form, so that mathematics are applicable to forms and ideas, even as to numbers, in virtue of an exact proportion and a perfect correspondence. By the science of the Sepher Yetzirah the human mind is rooted in truth and in reason. It accounts for all progress possible to intelligence by means of the evolution of numbers. Thus does the Zohar represent absolute truth, while the Sepher Yetzirah furnishes the method of its acquisition, its discernment, and application. 1. Implicit in this is the suggestion that these texts contain a secret doctrine, open only to initiates. What may be termed the occult tradition within Western, or Christian, Kabbalah gathered pace during the 19th century. Levi was followed by Pappus, de Guaita, and Paladin, and in the English-speaking world by Madame Blavatsky, Anna Kingsford, W. Wynne Westcott and S. L. 10 Eliphaz Levi, the history of magic including a clear and precise exposition of its procedure, its rites, and its mysteries. Translated, with a preface and notes, by Arthur Edward Waite. Second edition, London, 1922. Reprint, York Beach, Me, Weiser, 1999, pages 51-52. Slee Forward Mathers. They all seem to have believed that no true understanding of Kabbalistic texts is possible without special, initiatic knowledge. Thus Pappus maintained that the Sepher Yetzirah was originally a simple oral tradition, it was secretly transmitted from initiate to initiate. L1 Mathers, in referring to the three mother letters, as described in the Sepher Yetzirah, states that I may say no more here, in fact, I have almost revealed too much. 12 Within the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, which was created in almost equal measure by Westcott and Mathers, the Sephirotic tree of life was central to its ceremonies. Kabbalistic texts were mined systematically, and their secrets formed a major part of the teaching given to the members. Westcott himself had little time for academic students of the Kabbalah. The considered views of Isidore Kalish, whose translation of the Sepher Yetzirah preceded Westcott's by 10 years, are summarily dismissed because he was not an occultist. 13 Knut Stenring takes much the same approach, although he had no contact with either Westcott or the Golden Dawn. He maintains, on page 17, that in order to render his work unintelligible for the profane Rabbi Akiba ben Joseph used a veiled language, and expressed himself in riddle and conundrums. By unveiling this language and explaining the text, Stenring hopes not only to reawaken interest in Kabbalistic philosophy at large but also to lead to a much-needed renaissance of occultism. This is an approach quite alien to that of A. E. Waite. So how did his association with Stenring come about and how did he maintain the integrity of his own philosophical position? 11 Pappus, Gerard and Cause, The Kabbalah, Secret Tradition of the West. Originally published in French, 1892. Reprint, New York, Samuel Weiser, 1977, p. 241. 12 SLM Mathers, Kabbalah Denudata. The Kabbalah Unveiled. London, George Redway, 1887. Reprint edition, York Beach, May, Weiser, 1974, Note p. 326. 13 W. Wynne Westcott, Sepher Yetzirah, The Book of Formation. Translated from the Hebrew. 3rd edition. London, M. Watkins, 1911, p. 13. Forward XU1 by 1923, Waite was an established writer on esoteric subjects, and his ability to balance critical acumen and objectivity with a profound sympathy for esoteric spirituality enabled him to be accepted as an authority in his own field, even among the academic community. Indeed, he was widely accepted as the foremost non-Jewish authority on the Kabbalah in the English-speaking world. It was for this reason that in August 1923 Ralph Shirley, the proprietor of the publishing house of William Ryder, approached Waite for help with a new translation of the Sepher Yetzirah. Shirley was in a difficult situation, as Waite noted in his diary, for he has had a version of the Sepher Yetzirah set up and now finds that though done from the Hebrew it has not been put into English and is quite impossible. Diary, August 23, 1923. Waite, against his better judgment as he later lamented, agreed to revise the text and to provide an introduction. The work proved to be both slow and difficult, requiring extensive correction and other silent editing. When Waite sent the first proofs back to Shirley some 6 weeks later, he reflected that they are almost worth keeping in view of the way that the corrections are written over and over, adding the comment, "Imagine a publisher not reading over such a miss before sending to print." Diary, October 1, 1923. For a further 6 weeks he continued to correct the text and to write his introduction, which makes his own view of the Kabbalah as an essentially mystical tradition perfectly clear until he delivered the final set of proofs in mid-November. He was glad to have finished with the book and rarely referred to it in his later works. The only references to Stenring's version in the Holy Kabbalah, 1929, are casual and as footnotes. Why the book was initially accepted for publication by Ralph Shirley remains a mystery. Apart from the fact that he was, in Waite's words, a Swedish Hebraist, almost nothing is known of Knut Stenring. In his own country he was recognized as a student of, and author on biblical chronology, presumably because his only other book, The Enclosed Garden, published by the author in Stockholm in 1952, consists of sets of figures for calculating various chronological systems. Public ignorance of his name in England probably accounts for the scarcity 14 forward of reviews of his translation, and such notices as it did receive were mixed. One contemporary critic, H.S. Redgrove, felt able to praise both translator and editor and was sufficiently stimulated by the book into writing The Mathematics of the Sepher Yetzirah, a highly ingenious analysis of the text itself, printed as an appendix to this edition. Others were less even-handed. Herbert Close, writing in the Occult Review under his pen name of Meredith Starr, stated that Stenring's translation bears every evidence of true scholarship, and his annotations, particularly those which refer to the 32 paths of wisdom, will give students of the Kabbalah much food for thought. He recognized that Stenring's astrological and tarot attributions of Hebrew letters were contentious, but praised them nonetheless, while making no comment on the claim of having discovered the master key of the theoretical and practical Kabbalah which had been hidden in the Sepher Yetzirah by Rabbi Akiba. In general, he felt that the book should stimulate a renewed interest in Kabbalistic research. 14 He could not know that much of the scholarship that made the translation acceptable was Waite's and not Stenring's, but G.R.S. Mead, who was a personal friend of Waite, probably did know, which would explain his double-edged review of the book in the Quest. 15 He is skeptical of Stenring's opinion as to the great age of the Sepher Yetzirah, as he is also of the translator's claim to have unveiled the greatest secret of the Kabbalah. As to Stenring's hope for much-needed renaissance of occultism, Mead does not look forward to such a prospect with any enthusiasm. Instead, he prefers Waite's more experienced opinion and soberer judgment, and praises his interesting and instructive introduction. In effect, he prefers the frame to the picture, which is unsurprising given that Mead preferred the mystical path to that of the occultist. 14 Meredith Starr, Review of the Book of Formation, Sepher Yetzirah, in the Occult Review 39, No. 1, January 1924 55-15 C.R.S. Mead, Review of the Book of Formation, Sepher Yetzirah, in the Quest 15, No. 3, April 1924 416-419. Forward 15 Waite's own views on the Kabbalah were also very much those of a mystic, and a Christian mystic at that. But he recognized that any attempt to interpret Kabbalistic texts in a Christian light was purely subjective and must relate to one's own inner experiences and not to the intent of their Jewish authors. In this sense, the Sepher Yetzirah is a truly valuable text, and the complex numerical analyses of Sten Ring, and his painstaking construction of symbolic parallels with the tarot trumps, are well within the Christian heart of the Western Hermetic tradition. For this reason, both his and Waite's contribution to our understanding of this oldest of Kabbalistic texts deserve to be more widely known, as does the text itself. At the present time, its greatest advocates seem to be within pagan and Thelemite circles. This is an extraordinary situation, for their philosophical worldviews, whatever their merits, have no spiritual connection with the Sepher Yetzirah. It is high time that the Judeo-Christian tradition, which created, shaped and developed the book, claimed it back for its own followers. R. A. Gilbert, Bristol, England, April 2004 N-LO The Book of Formation, Sepher Yetzirah, by Rabbi Akiba ben Joseph, translated from the Hebrew, with annotations, by Knut Sten Ring, including the 32 Paths of Wisdom, their correspondence with the Hebrew alphabet and the tarot symbols, with an introduction by Arthur Edward Waite. Contents forward. V. Introduction. 5 Translator's Note. 17 Chapter I. 21 Chapter 2. 24 Chapter 3. 25 Chapter 4. 27 Chapter V. 29 Chapter 6. 31 Chapter I Notes. 36 Chapter 2 Notes. 42 3 Chapter Notes. 45 Chapter 4 Notes. 46 Chapter V Notes. 50 Chapter 6 Notes. 53 The 32 Paths of Wisdom. 58 Appendix, The Mathematics of the Sepher Ye7Zirah. 67 List of Works. 79 The Great Master Key to the Theoretical and Practical Kabbalah Foldout. Facing page 96. Tables: Table I, Table 2. Table 3. Table 4, Table V, Table 6. Table 7. Table 8. Table 9. Table X Hebrew and Chaldee letters, dot. 19 The 10 Sephiroth. 33 The 3 Mothers. 33 The 7 Doubles. 34 The 12 Simples. Dot. 35 Tetragrammaton. 41 The Chaldean Calendar. 49 To Be. 54 The Equilibrium of the 7 Doubles. 56 The 5 Finals. 57 3 Introduction by Arthur Edward Waite. The Sepher Yetzirah is a very small, indeed a minute work, even in its most extended recension, but in the hands of successive translators and makers of commentaries its critical position has become exceedingly complex, and it is scarcely possible to reach, much less to hold, any definite view as a mean between the conflicting elements of debate. For the purpose of the present brief consideration I can assume no knowledge on the part of readers and must present therefore only the simpler issues of the subject. The Sepher Yetzirah, otherwise Book of Formation, was introduced to Christian scholarship in 1552 by a Latin translation of William Postel, this being 10 years prior to the first issue of the printed Hebrew text, which took place at Mantua in 1562. A second Latin rendering belongs to the year 1587, when it appeared in the first and only volume of Artis Kabbalistic and Scripturas under the editorship of Pastorius. Finally, so far as I am aware, The Hebrew text with a third translation into Latin was produced by Ritangelius in 1642, together with a commentary on the 82 Paths of Wisdom by Rabbi Abraham ben Deor. The translation of the Sepher was the work of the editor and was accompanied by notes. As regards the Hebrew text, that of Mantua contained two recensions, with variant readings of both, the second being longer than the first. On the one hand, its additional matter is regarded as later interpolation, but on the other it is held to give valuable readings which seem older and better than corresponding passages in the shorter. This is on the authority of the Jewish Encyclopedia, Vol. 12, Sepher Yetzirah. Other editions of the Hebrew text apart from translation were published, 1, at Amsterdam, in 1642, and again in 1718, 2, at Lemberg, in 1680, containing 6 codices, that of Sayadiajayan included, 8, at Constantinople, 1719, 4, at Zalkua, in 1745, 5, at 5-6 the Book of Formation Korzek, in 1779, under the editorship of Moses ben Jacob, 6, at Grodno, in 1806, accompanied by 5 commentaries, 7, at De Herrnfurth, in 1812, 8, at Salonika, in 1881, 9, at Jerusalem, in 1874, 10, at Warsaw, in 1884, with 9 commentaries. It may be added that the bibliography of the work is not exhausted by this representative enumeration. Among renderings into Neodern languages with which I am acquainted, the first in point of time is that of Meyer into German, together with the Hebrew text, in 1886. In 1894 the text of Isaac Luria and the text of an Arabic version were edited by L. Goldschmidt, with a new German translation. The first French rendering was made by Gerard Encausse, better known under his pseudonym of Papoose. The second was by Meyer Lambert, in 1891, an elaborate work, containing, 1, the Arabic text of Sayadiajayan's commentary on the Sepher Yetzirah, its translation into French and a rendering of the Sepher from the Hebrew. In 1918 the Comtesse Colomira de Cimarra produced a new rendering which was done with considerable care and was accompanied by folding diagrams and notes. The first English translation appeared at New York in 1877, together with the Hebrew text from an excellent fount of type. It is accompanied by notes of considerable interest and is followed by a sketch of the Talmud. The translator and author is Mr. Isidore Kalish. The second version is that of Drive W. Wynne Westcott, published originally in 1887 and reissued in a revised form, with additional notes, by the Theosophical Publishing Society as a volume of Collectanea Hermetica in 1898. It is based on the text of Ritangelius, compared with some other versions. It was prepared for the use of persons described as Theosophists, occult and Hermetic students, whose purpose if any may have been served by such a production, but it is in reality a paraphrase and fulfills few of the conditions required by scholarship. As stated in the translator's note, the present version is a word-for-word rendering, the work of a Swedish Hebraist. It may be compared with the beginnings of a rendering by Mr. Phineas Mordell in his Origin of Letters and Numerals, according to the Sepher Yetzirah, reprinted in Germany from the Jewish Quarterly Review of 1912-18, and published in Philadelphia by the author. It is dated 1914, but it is explained on a slip that no copies of the thesis became available in America until 1921, owing to the Great War. Mr. Mordell's remarkable Introduction 7 study, to which I shall recur shortly, contains the Hebrew text and parallel English rendering of 24 Mishnayot, versicles, or paragraphs, to which number his principles of criticism reduce the original and only authentic text. Mr. Knudsten-Ring makes clear his personal position by printing those portions which he believes to be of later date in italics throughout, and this has the merit of offering a clear issue to the general reader. The cosmology of Sepher Yetzirah, however we elect to translate individual words and paragraphs, is the primary concern of the tract, while the second exhibits a correspondence between the work of God in the universe and in the body of man, in which connection it is to be observed that there is no intimation concerning a spiritual part which answers to the notion of a human soul. The word formation suggests a work performed on antecedently existing material, e.g., the formless and void or mire and clay of c. I. 11. The Yetziratic Lord corresponds therefore to the Masonic description of deity as the great architect of the universe. It is said indeed in the text Ibidem that he hewed the 22 letters as a wall and covered them as a building. But those who devised the emblematic art post 1717 did not intend to suggest that their architect was not also creator, and in like manner the Sepher Yetzirah represents the Lord, God, and Holy One, not only as writing and forming, not only as producing from void and chaos, but according to Dr. Stenring's rendering he made the non-existent exist, 2, 6, which is in substantial agreement with other modern versions. Compare, 1, La Contessimera, il forma quelque chose de concret du tohu et fit ce qui en était pas. 2, Dr. Wynne Westcott, from the non-existent he made something, 2, 5. 8, Mr. Phineas Mordell, he graved and hewed out of them void and chaos. He formed existence out of void, and made something out of nothing, Pars 19, 22. The Sepher Yetzirah introduces also a doctrine of the Logos. The universe was created by three forms of expression: numbers, letters, and words, Stenring, otherwise by numbers, letters, and sounds, Westcott, or by three books, which are writing, number, and speech, Simera, for which Mordell substitutes scribe, script, and scroll. The root and meaning are one in respect of all the variants, as will be seen more fully by comparing the alternatives of Postel, Pistorius, and Ritangelius, which are cited by Mr. 8 the Book of Formation Stenring in his notes. It is said further that the word of God is in the Sephiroth, I. 6, otherwise numerations or digits, Mordell, that voice, spirit, and word are together the Spirit of the Holy One, I. 9, that creation as it is and all creation to come are already or will be formed by the 22 letters, 2, 2, that air, water, and fire proceeded from the three mother letters, Aleph, Mem and Shin, that the 7 planets were brought forth from the 7 double letters. As also the directions of space and that holy palace in the center which sustains all things, 4, 15, an allusion to the divine immanence operating in created things as an unmanifest behind the manifest, and that the zodiacal signs were drawn forth from the 12 simple letters, v. 8. We may compare later Zoharic doctrine, according to which the letters had been emanated one from another and thereafter the world was created by their help that it might manifest the divine name as an indwelling presence therein. Yet later Kabbalism distinguished 3 operations, to create, to form and to make, corresponding to the respective offices of 3 worlds: Olam Bria, Olam Yetzirah, and Olam Asaya in the Sephirotic scheme of the Tree of Life, these depending from Olam Atziluth, the world of deity, wherein is the crown of the tree. The Sepher Yetzirah unfolds also a logical doctrine of correspondences which was destined to be extended by the Zohar and its commentators and connections in several suggestive directions. It is obvious, and as they were men of subtle understanding it must have been realized by the Theosophists of Israel that they were setting forth in reality and projecting on the divine plane a philosophy of the human logos. It was man and no other for whom the 10 numerations were a mode of the rational mind. It was he who conceived and gave utterance to letters as sounds, in throat, palate, and tongue, through teeth and lips. 2, 8. His is the science of numbers and his are the forms of speech. It is he who is scribe and script, and there is even a true sense in which he is also the scroll, or that tabula on which the cosmos without impresses its messages, Tob received and interpreted by the cosmos within. The sacramental correspondence between that which is communicated to the senses and conveyed through these to the mind is like the covenant placed by the Lord between the hands of Abraham, 6, 16, a guarantee on the part of God that there is a valid relation between signum and signatum, according to the proportion of which the human understanding is an authentic measure of introduction 9 the universe. Mr. Stenring places 6:16 among the apocryphal paragraphs, and Mr. Mordell regards it as belonging to the original text. The former in his translation presents Abraham as contemplating, studying, and at length understanding the Yetziradic revelation. He formed and designed till he had reached this end. On the other hand, according to Mr. Mordell, who follows I know not which recension, when Abraham our father arose, he looked, and saw and investigated and observed and engraved and hewed and combined and formed and calculated, and his creation was successful. In other words, by a deep contemplation of the cosmos it was so unfolded to the patriarch that its true pattern was created or formulated in his mind, the result of which, ibid, was that the Lord appeared or was revealed to him, meaning that God became known in his works. Our version says that thereafter he had faith in the Lord because, I conclude, his deep observation of the universe had empowered him to justify the ways of God to men. It may well be that this experimental essay in the elucidation of an obscure passage is not precisely according to the mind of the Hebrews, but there is no other in which it can be said of Abraham that his creation was successful, and it does exhibit the law of correspondence in its most deep aspect. For the rest, according to Sepher Yetzirah, the Hebrew I.etters which correspond in the macrocosm to air, water and fire answer in the microcosm of man to head, belly and chest. 3, 7, the double letters which produce the 7 planets are in analogy with 7 gateways, so called, in the human organism, namely, eyes, ears, nostrils and mouth, the channels of communication from without inward by sight, hearing, smell, and taste. 4, 6, 7 etseq. So also the celestial zodiac was produced by means of the 12 simple letters, which are in correspondence also, and after the same manner, with 12 organs external and internal of the human economy, hands, feet, stomach, and so onward, v. 8, 6 etseq. I suppose that a Kabbalistic astrology could be unfolded from this highly symbolical thesis, and something of the kind may have been attempted in recent days. Mr. Stenring has produced his translation for the same reason that actuated Dr. Pappus and subsequently Drive Westcott. It was supposed then and is supposed now to be of importance for occult students. Based on a better understanding of Sepher Yetzirah, Mr. Stenring looks for a revival of the whole subject. In the introduction to his translation, Drive Westcott points out 10 the Book of Formation that the text is an instructive philosophical treatise upon one aspect of the origin of the universe and mankind, to say which, however, explains nothing respecting the nature of its appeal to occult students, besides being quite inapplicable as a description of the work itself. On the other hand, Mr. Stenring produces his reasons for the faith that is in him. For him the numbers and letters which make up the paths of wisdom represent forces created by God from which everything was and is formed in the universe, and by means of their symbols these forces become apprehensible to the mind, pages 86, 87. Moreover, the work of contemplation can increase knowledge of the forces, up to a certain point. Mr. Stenring gives further an elaborate diagram showing concentric circles inscribed with the English equivalents of the Hebrew letters arranged in a certain order as an explanation of cap 2, 5, in the text. He claims that this is the great Kabbalistic symbol and master key to the theoretical and practical Kabbalah, which the Sepher Yetzirah conceals in a riddle at the place just indicated and which he has been the first to solve. It follows that Mr. Stenring delivers the goods that were not apparently in the hands of Pappus, Westcott et hoc genus, and therefore occult students who are drawn towards Jewish symbolism, according to which the Lord wrote numbers and letters, thus creating forces for the production of the manifest world, can set to work on his diagram and see what they can make of it. They will come at least across many curious permutations and will be in agreement with myself that the elaborate diagram is one of considerable interest, from whatever point of view it is approached, and however they may interpret Mr. Stenring's statement that absolute knowledge of a single number or letter is impossible for a human mind, p. 87, unless it has opened every gate of understanding, i.e., has acquired an encyclopedic knowledge of all sciences. The early students and editors of Sepher Yetzirah Apostle, Pistorius, and Ritangelius hoped that their own zeal would effect the conversion of Israel to the faith of Christ, and it is useful to contrast this enthusiasm with the various motives which actuate occult interest at the present day. The Sephirotic and alphabetical theosophy of the Yetziratic Midrash was developed in the Zohar, and this storehouse of Kabbalism was in turn developed into a formal system by rabbinical devotees of the 16th and 17th centuries. The system and its sources, being capable of several constructions, were adapted as I have explained previously on more introduction 11 than one occasion by Christian students, from Miron Beulah to Baron von Rosenroth, for the purpose of proving to Israel that their expected Messiah had come already in Christ. I have shown also that the informal association for the propagation of the gospel in the foreign parts of Jewry proved practically of no effect, though the Zohar itself must be credited with the conversion of one little band of zealots under Jacob Frank. The occult interest in the Sepher Yetzirah is part of the concern in Jewish tradition at large and in other assumed channels of secret knowledge. From my own point of view, it is too often misdirected and therefore loses its way, amidst speculations in cloud and mist on themes which can be hardly specified. There are great masters somewhere about, encompassed by the reverence of pronouns printed with great initial letters. There is a grand secret of undeclared quality hypothecated at the end of a long vista, while if anything can be brought to book in the present connection it is a tentative belief in the question of occult virtue resident in divine names. Under such auspices there is no need to add that in Victorian days, when we heard of Hermetic orders, brotherhoods of Luxor and the Veil of Isis, it was apt to be a cloak for every kind of false pretense, not to speak of imbecility of thought. Mr. Stenring belongs to another category and is probably concerned with the occult subject as a curious path of research, much as on my own part I devoted years to its study, seeking a possible light on the several lines of development followed by the secret tradition in Christian times. Magia, Theosophia, Alchemia, Kabbalah, Philosophia occulta are or may be among the paths thereof, in an ascending or descending scale. There is valuable work which remains to be done in all, and this is the direction in which we may share the translator's hope for a much-needed renaissance of occultism. It seems to me that at the present day it has entered into its proper sphere as a study of the records of the past, sometimes in the hope that they may throw incidental light upon modem problems which are grouped together under the denomination of psychical research. Outside this, the pursuit is mainly archaeological. In my Doctrine and Literature of the Kabbalah, 1902, I indicated that we do not get much help in the study of Sepher Yetzirah from the work of modern scholarship which is not of the occult kind, and it is obvious from what has been said that the latter is no source of light. Even at this day the Jewish Encyclopedia describes the tract as devoted to speculations. 12 The Book of Formation concerning God and the Angels, surely a very loose and incorrect account. Ginsburg, following Edersheim, Hiatory of the Jewish people, terms it a monologue on the part of Abraham, an inexact inference arising from the last paragraph, to which I have alluded already as unauthentic in the opinion of Mr. Stenring, while it is regarded by Mordell as in perfect harmony with all the original material. He affirms, however, that it does not represent Abraham as author of the text itself, but rather as inventor of the alphabet. It is an obscure question, for the text itself is obscure, but it seems necessary to recognize that there is a dual tradition in Kabbalistic Jewry according to which, 1. Abraham wrote the Sepher Yetzirah, the reason being given by a Saadiah, namely, to defend the unity of God against the dualists and tritheists of Babylon, but alternatively, 2. It was committed by God into the patriarch's hands, as a bride is given to her husband. Mr. Stenring accepts the authorship of Rabbi Akiba as if it were of common recognition in historical criticism or as if there were actual evidence, and he has the authority of Professor Schillersnessy, but it was challenged by Moses of Cordova in the 16th century, and Mr. Mordell does something to shew that the attribution arose through a misconception. He is disposed on his own part to refer the original portion to a pre-Talmudic period and the added amenta to an undetermined date between AD 750 and 981. The unknown author of a commentary on the Sepher preserved in the Bodleian and referred to the 13th century ascribes it to Joseph ben Uzziel by revelation of the prophet Jeremiah, meaning apparently that Joseph was the latter's disciple, or according to Apother Codex by communication from Joseph's grandfather Ben Sira, he being the alleged grandson of Jeremiah and one of the supposed authors of Ecclesiasticus. Hereof is some part only of traditional ascriptions, and at this it may be left, as neither date nor authorship is likely to reach a settlement. It remains that the text enforces the supreme unity of God and his direct work in creation. Its chief occult aspect is the implied virtue resident in divine names, with which the deep and the height were sealed, but this connotes for myself a crude recognition of divine immanence in the universe. From another point of view, the conception belongs to conventional magic of the so-called practical kind, and I have dealt with the archeology of this subject in other writings. Its roots are remote in the past, and its last developments are in Grimoire's Introduction 13 and Little Albert's. The occult student of modern times is not likely to attempt operations of a ceremonial kind with the aid of Tetragrammaton and its permutations, but divine names suggest numerical mysticism, which opens a wide field. Mr. Stenring institutes a comparison between the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet and the numerically corresponding symbols which constitute the trumps major of the tarot cards. We owe this analogy to the ingenuity, such as it was, of Eliphaz Levi, who offered it for the acceptance of occultists in the Ritual de la Haute Magie, 1856, claiming high authority and credit for the revelation of a great arcanum. As Mr. Stenring offers us a new arrangement, which differs altogether from that of the French magus, it is desirable to compare them for the benefit of those who are drawn to the old picture symbols. The correspondences of Levi are, however, arbitrary, and recall his statements that the Apocalypse of St. John and the Tableau Naturel of St. Martin are based on the traditional sequence of the trumps major, his only evidence being that these widely divergent works are each divided into 22 chapters or sections, that of the first being of course an arrangement of early editors of the New Testament canon. Levi's attribution was as follows: 1. Aleph equals the juggler, otherwise magus. 2. Beth equals the female pope, or high priestess. 8. Gimel equals the empress. 4. Daleth equals the emperor. 5. He equals the pope, otherwise hierophant. 6. Vav equals the lovers. 7. Zayin equals the chariot. 8. Cheth equals justice. 9. Taith equals the hermit, or Capuchin. 10. Yod equals the wheel of fortune. 11. Kaf equals strength. 12. Lamed equals the hanged man. 18. Mem equals death. 14. Nun equals temperance. 15. Samek equals the devil. 16. Ayin equals the tower. 17. Pe equals the star. 18. Zadi equals the moon. 19. Quaf equals the sun. 20. Resh equals the last judgment. 21. Shin equals the fool. 22. Tau equals the world. Now, it is to be observed that the fool equals 0 in the tarot sequence, but the letter Shin equals 800 in the numerology of the Hebrew alphabet, so that in Levi's arrangement the correspondence is to this extent voided. The proper placing of the tarot fool is the great crux of every attempt, and there are several to create a correspondence between the trumps major and the Hebrew letters. If it be worthwhile to say so, the correct sequence, which emerges from unexpected considerations, has never appeared in print, and it is not to be confused with a Victorian allocation now well known, but which used to be regarded as important. 14. The Book of Formation. It referred the cipher card to Aleph, and therefore to the number 1, so that we are confronted by the strange analogy of 0 equals 1, the alternative being, as we have seen, that 0 equals 800, otherwise 21 in the alphabetical order. Mr. Stenring's arrangement begins by referring the tarot minor arcana to the 10 Sephiroth in the following order: 1. Sephirah I equals Ketker, the crown equals the 4 aces. 2. Sephirah 2 equals Chakma, wisdom equals the 4 twos. 3. Sephirah 3 equals Bina, understanding equals the 4 threes. 4. Sephirah 4 equals Chesed, mercy equals the 4 fours. 5. Sephirah V equals Gebera, severity equals the 4 fives. 6. Sepher 6 equals Tifereth, beauty equals the 4 sixes, 7, Sepher 7 equals Netzach, victory equals the 4 sevens, 8, Sepher 8 equals Hod, glory equals the 4 eights, 9, Sepher 9 equals Yesod, foundation equals the 4 nines, 10, Sepher X equals Makuth, the kingdom equals the 4 tens. It is to be observed that these allocations are derived from Levi in his Dogmi de Elahot Magi, 1854. See my translation, Transcendental Magic, etc., 2nd edition, pages 126, 127. The trump cards of the 4 suits are referred by Mr. Stenring to the 4 letters of Tetragrammaton. Yod equals king in each suit, He primal equals queen, Vav equals knight, and He final equals page, knave, or jack. Levi missed this obvious correspondence, referring the 4 letters generally to the suits themselves. I should mention that the names of the Sephiroth are found in the Zohar but not in the Sepher Yetzirah and not in the Paths of Wisdom. So far as regards the lesser tarot symbols and now in respect of the trumps major, Mr. Stenring allocates as follows: 1. 3 mother letters equals Aleph, Mem, Shin equals juggler, world, devil. 2. 7 double letters equals Beth, Gimel, Daleth, Kaf, Pe, Rhea, Tau equals sun, moon, chariot, death, hierophant, star, hanged man. 3. 12 simple letters equals He, Vav, Zayin, Cheth, Taith, Yod, Lamed, Nun, Samek, Ayin, Zadi, Quaf equals empress, emperor, high priestess, strength, temperance, lovers, justice, will of fortune, tower, fool, hermit, judgment. The natural sequence of letters and trumps major works out therefore thus: I Aleph equals juggler, 2, Beth equals sun, 8, Gimel equals moon, 4, Daleth equals chariot, 5, He equals empress, 6, Vav equals emperor, 7, Zayin equals high priestess, 8, Cheth equals strength, 9, Taith equals temperance, 10, Yod equals lovers, 11, Kaf equals death, 12, Lamed equals justice, 18, Mem equals world, 14, Nun equals will of fortune, 15, Samek equals tower, introduction 15, 16, Ayin equals fool, 17, Pe equals pope or hierophant, 18, Zadi equals hermit, 19, Quaf equals judgment, 20, Resh equals star, 21, Shin equals devil, 22, Tau equals hanged man. It will be seen that in this arrangement the cipher card is brought into correspondence with a letter, the numerical value of which is 70 in Hebrew numeration. It should be noted further that in the Paths of Wisdom the Z, which are numbered 11 to 2, both inclusive, have been referred by Kircher and others to their alphabetical correspondences according to the natural sequence of letters, but in Mr. Stenring's rearrangement, which deserves study, they are distributed according to the divisions of mothers, doubles, and simples, the titles of the paths remaining unaltered, except in so far as Mr. Stenring has transposed 2 of my own attributions made in the remote past and drawn at the time, if I remember rightly, from the classification adopted by a certain occult school. It should be understood that the attributions vary both in arrangement and titles in different codices. Those of Mr. Stenring, Drive Westcott, and myself may be compared with the enumeration of the Comtesse de Simarat on pages 7, 8 of her French translation. Mr. Stenring claims, p. 26, that the Yetziratic meanings of letters have enabled him to place the tarot trumps major in their original and proper order, referring no doubt to their redistribution in accordance with the triple division of the Hebrew alphabet. The correspondences of the 7 doubles according to the Sepher are life, peace, wisdom, wealth, grace, fruitfulness, and dominion, and according to Mr. Stenring their tarot correspondents are sun, moon, chariot, death, hierophant, star, and hanged man. We may say that the sun is life, and astrologically we may connect the moon with peace, but I must leave to those who can discern them the analogies between death and wealth, or the hanged man and dominion. We get in fact the same kind of result throughout as would follow on a comparison of tarot symbols with the traditional significations attached to the names of Hebrew letters as set forth in Table I. Accordingly, following Mr. Stenring's arrangement, the juggler answers to an ox, the moon card to a camel, the high priestess to a sword, temperance to a serpent, death to the palm of a hand, the hermit to a fishing hook and the devil to a tooth. It may be well to add that I am not to be included among those who are satisfied that there is a valid correspondence between Hebrew letters and 16 the Book of Formation tarot trump symbols. But Mr. Stenring's arrangement seems to me wrought with exceeding care, and I have tabulated it therefore at length for the convenience of those who think otherwise. As the gates of understanding are mentioned, p. 25, it may be said that they are exceedingly late, at least in their extant form, which is that of a treatise entitled Gates of Light, by R. Joseph Jacadala ben Abraham, 1248–1805 or later. I have explained elsewhere Doctrine and Literature of the Kabbalah, p. 78 that they begin with the first matter, proceed through the putative elements to composite substances, thence to organic life, human nature, the heaven of the planets, that of the fixed stars, the primum mobile, the angelical orders, and finally to the archetypal world, unseen by mortal eye. There is no doubt that this is R. Joseph, developing Zoharic intimations into a conventional system. For the Zohar has references to the 50 gates, but they convey very different impressions. Those who are curious concerning them may consult my Secret Doctrine in Israel, p. 251, where they are collected together. According to the great storehouse of rabbinical theosophy, 1. Those who study the law open the gates of Bina. 2. They are gates of salvation. 8. They are in the region of the Supreme Mother, otherwise that Shekinah in transcendence who gives power to the Mother below, and she is the Shekinah in manifestation. 4. They are also gates of compassion, and the last of all, leading from Bina to Chokmah, or from supernal understanding to supernal wisdom, was not opened by Moses, because he was in separation from his wife. To realize all that is implied by the last statement, for the fact of which there is authority in the Talmud, it must be understood that the high intent of the Zohar is fixed upon what is called the mystery of faith, and this is a mystery of sex. In the last resource it is the mystery of union between Jehovah and Elohim, or God, and his Shekinah, represented by Jod, he in the divine name. Mr. Stenring points out that the number 50 is written in Hebrew with the letters KL equals all, and he remembers no doubt the allusions to this word in the Gates of Light. But in the Zohar, because of the mystery of union, the number of the gates is obtained by the multiplication of Yod equals 10 and He equals 5 equals 50. It follows that in Zoharic understanding the gates are gates of union, and those who study the law shall pass thereby into the term thereof. Wait. Translators note the Book of Formation embodies the fundamental part of the secret learning, or Kabbalah, of the Jews. This tradition, Kabbalah means to hand down, was probably never put into writing until Rabbi Akiba ben Joseph produced the Book of Formation, or Book of Numbers and Letters, in the 2nd century after Christ. In order to render his work unintelligible for the profane he used a veiled language, and expressed himself in riddles and conundrums. Owing to this mysterious language the book has been misunderstood, and the philosophical and magical system of the Kabbalah classified as unreasonable. The present version of Sepher Yetzirah is a word-for-word translation from the Hebrew, and a list of the texts used for this purpose will be found on the last page. Those portions of the text which we regard as genuine are printed in ordinary type, and the spurious passages in italics. Words placed within brackets are additions or renderings made by us. The student is advised to make himself acquainted with the genuine verses of Sepher Yetzirah and the illustrative notes thereon before he proceeds to the 32 Paths of Wisdom. It is hoped that the elucidations provided in the notes will not only reawaken interest in the text itself but in Kabbalistic philosophy at large and lead to a much-needed renaissance of occultism. Knut Stenring. Illalsenborg, Sweden, 1923. 17 The Book of Formation 19 Table I He. Brew and Chaldee Letters J. Power. Hebrew and Ahuldu Le number ER8. Numerical value 11. S name. Signajikanan O/name. I mother H2LL, 8114 5 simple IL 6 simple 7 simple L 8 simple N 9 simple 10 simple 11 L final _ 12 simple R, 18 mother FN and C 14 simple final L 15 simple 0 16 simple 31 F 17 18 simple final, inal R 19 simple P, 20 21 mother 2, 22 N1A Aleph Ox. 2B Beth House. 8G Gimel Camel. 4D Daleth Door. 5H He Window. 6V Bob Peg, Nail. 7Z Zayin Weapon, Sword. 8Ch Cheth Enclosure, Fence. 9T Tate Serpent. 10 Ayod Hand. 20 Final 500 Calf Palm of the Hand. 80 El Lamed Oxcode. 40 Final 650 Final 700 MEM None Water. Fish. 60 S Samek Prop, Support. 70 0 INI. 80 Final 890 Final 900 TZFPE Zadi Mouth. Fishing Hook. 100 Q Cope Back of the Head. 200 R Resh Head. 800 SH Shin Tooth. 400 TH Tau Sign of the Cross. With TH8 Eaception OJ TH88 EOONA column, Thea Table IA according to SL Mackinger Mather 8. The Book of Formation Chapter I1. In 32 mysterious paths of wisdom did the Lord write, the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, the living Elohim, and King of the universe, the Almighty, merciful, and gracious. God, He is great and Alt and eternally dwelling in the height, His name is holy, He is Alt and holy. He created His universe by the three forms of expression, numbers, letters, and words. 210 ineffable Sephiroth and 22 basal letters, 3 mothers, 7 double, and 12 simple, letters. 810 ineffable Sephiroth, corresponding to the 10 fingers, 5, over, against 5 and the only token of the covenant in the middle, the word of the tongue and, the circumcision, of the flesh. 410 ineffable Sephiroth, 10 and not 9, 10 and not 11, understand with wisdom and apprehend with care, examine by means of them and search them out, know, count, and write. Put forth the subject in its light and place the formator on his throne. He is the only creator and the only formator, and no one exists but He, His attributes are 10 and have no limits. 5 The ineffable Sephiroth, their totality is 10, they are, however, without limits, the infinity of the beginning and the infinity of the end, the infinity of the good and the infinity of the evil, the infinity of the height and the infinity of the depth, the infinity of the east and the infinity of the west, the infinity of the north and the infinity of the south, and only one Lord God, the trusty King, rules them all from His holy dwelling in all eternity. 6.10 Ineffable Sephiroth, their appearance is like that of a flash of lightning, their goal is infinite. His word is in them when they emanate and when they return, at His bidding do they haste like a whirlwind, and before His throne do they prostrate themselves. 21-22 The Book of Formation 7. 10 Ineffable Sephiroth, their end is in their beginning and likewise their beginning in their end, as the flame is bound to the burning coal. Know, count, and write. The Lord is one and the formator is one and hath no second, beside Him what number canst thou count before one? 8-10 Ineffable Sephiroth, close thy mouth lest it speak and thy heart lest it think, and if thy mouth openeth for utterance and thy heart turneth toward thought, bring them back, to thy control. LMQVMF, therefore it is written, and the living creatures ran and returned, Ezekiel I-14, and hence was the covenant made. 9-10 Ineffable Sephiroth, 1 The Spirit of the living Elohim, His throne is erected in eternity, blessed and praised be His name, the living God of ages, eternal and forever. Voice, Spirit, and Word, this is the Spirit of the Holy One. His beginning hath no beginning and His end hath no ending. 10 To air from Spirit, He wrote and formed therein 22 basal letters, 3 mothers, 7 double, and 12 simple. 11 3 water from air, he wrote and formed therein 22 letters, from the formless and void mire and clay, he designed them as a plateband, he hewed them as a wall, he covered them as a building, he poured snow over them and it became earth, even as it is written, he saith to the snow, Be thou the earth, Job XXXVII 6. 12 4 fire from water, and he designed and cut thereof the throne of glory, seraphim, Ophanim, the holy animals, the ministering angels, and with these three he founded his dwelling. Therefore it is written, He maketh his angels spirits and his ministers a flaming fire, PSCIV 4. 18 He chose 3 of the simple letters, a secret belonging to the 3 mothers, Monday equals AMSH, and put them in his great name and sealed with them 6 extensions. 5 He sealed the height stretched upwards and sealed it with lit equals my. 6 He sealed the depth stretched downwards and sealed it with M equals IVH. 7 He sealed the east stretched forwards and sealed it with WL equals HIV. 8 He sealed the west stretched backwards and sealed it with N equals HVI. The Book of Formation 28:9 He sealed the north stretched to the right and sealed it with it equals VIH. 10 He sealed the south stretched to the left and sealed it with M equals VEN. 14 These are the 10 ineffable Sephiroth, 1 the spirit of the living Elohim, 2 air from spirit, 3 water from air, 4 fire from water, height, depth, east, west, north, and south. Chapter 2 1. 22 basal letters, 3 mothers, 7 double, and 12 simple. 3 mothers, L, CH equals AMSH, their foundation. The scale of merit and the scale of guilt, and the tongue is, an, equilibrating law between the two. 3 mothers, AMSHM is mute, SH is sibilant, and A equilibrates the two. 22 basal letters, HE designed them, he formed them, he purified them, he weighed them, and he exchanged them, each one with all, he formed by means of them the whole creation and everything that should be created, subsequently. 22 basal letters, 3 mothers, 7 double, and 12 simple, they are designed in the voice, formed in the ear and set in the mouth at 5 places. The letters, Limil equals AHCH0J, JL equals G1KQMC low L equals BTLNTH, IR1CL equals ZSTZRSH, Jo L1 equals DVMP at the throat, at the palate, at the tongue, at the teeth, at the lips. 22 basal letters, they are placed together in a ring, as a wall with 231 gates. The ring may be put in rotation forwards or backwards and its token is this, nothing excels 1J1I equals equals pleasure, in good, and nothing excels 1I equals NGO, equals plague, in evil. 5 How did he combine, weigh, and exchange them? A with all and all with A, B with all and all with B, G with all and all with G, and all of them turned round. Hence they go forth through 231 gates, and thus it comes about that the whole creation and all language proceed from one combination of letters. 6 He created from the formless and made the non-existent exist, and he formed large columns out of intangible air. This is the token, he BJ, held, exchanged, and brought forth the whole creation and all objects, by means of, one combination of letters, the token of which is 22 objects in one body. 24 Chapter 3 1. 3 mothers, TL, O equals AMSH. Their foundation is, the scale of merit and the scale of guilt, and the tongue is, an, equilibrating law between the two. 3 mothers, AMSH. This is a great, recondite, hidden, and precious secret, sealed with 6 seals, and from these, AMSH, proceeded air, water, and fire. Fathers were produced by them, and from the fathers, descend, the generations. 3 mothers, AMSH. He designed, formed, purified, weighed, and exchanged them, and by means of them he brought forth 3 mothers in the universe, 3 mothers in the year, 3 mothers in man, male and female. 4 3 mothers, AMSH fire, air, and water. The heavens are produced from fire, the wind is produced from air, and the earth is produced from water, the fire above and the water below, and the air is, an equilibrating law between the two. By them were the fathers brought forth, and by them were all things produced. 5 3 mothers, AMSH in the universe air, water, and fire. The heavens were in the beginning produced from fire, the earth from water, and the wind from air, which thus equilibrates the two. 6 3 mothers, AMSH in the year the cold, the heat, and the temperate state. The heat was produced from fire, the cold from water, and the temperate state from air, which thus equilibrates the two. 7 3 mothers, AMSH in man the head, the belly, and the chest. The head was produced from fire, the belly from water, and the chest from air, which thus equilibrates the two. 8 He caused the letter A to reign in air, bound a crown upon it ere it fused them together. He produced by means of them, the atmosphere in the universe, the temperate state in the year, and the chest in man, male and female. 9 He caused the letter M to reign in water, bound a crown upon it and fused them together. He produced by means of 25-26 the book of formation them the earth in the universe, the cold in the year, and the belly in man, male and female. 10 He caused the letter SH to reign in fire, bound a crown upon it and fused them together. He produced by means of them the heavens in the universe, the heat in the year, and the head in man, male and female. Chapter 4:1. 7 double, letters M, LJN equals BGDKPRTH. Their foundation is, life, peace, wisdom, wealth, beauty, fruitfulness, and dominion. 2 7 double, BGDKPRTH. They are pronounced in two ways, BB, GG, DD, KK, PP, RR, THTH, according to the form of the soft and hard, the strong and weak breathing. 3 7 double, BGDKPRTH, according to pronunciation and permutation, contrary to life is death, contrary to peace is misfortune, contrary to wisdom is folly, contrary to wealth is poverty, contrary to beauty is ugliness, contrary to fruitfulness is devastation, contrary to dominion is slavery. 4 7 double, BGDKPRTH, height, depth, east, west, north, and south, and the holy palace in the middle, which sustains them all. 5 7 double, BGDKPRTH, 7 and not 6, 7 and not 8. Examine and search out by means of them, bring the subject forth into light and place the formator on his throne. 6 7 double, BGDKPTH. He designed, formed, purified, weighed, and exchanged them. He produced by means of them 7 planets in the universe, 7 days in the year, and 7 gateways in man, and by means of them also he designed 7 heavens, 7 earths, and 7 weeks. Therefore of all things under the heavens did he love the heptad. 7 These are the 7 planets in the universe, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Sun, Venus, Mercury, Moon. These are the 7 days in the year, the 7 days of the week, 7 gateways in man, 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, and the mouth. He caused the letter B to reign in wisdom, bound a crown upon it and fused them together. He produced by means of them, the sun, in the universe, Sunday in the year, and the right eye in man, male and female. 9 He caused the letter G to reign in wealth, bound a crown upon it and fused them together. He produced by means of them, the moon, in the universe, Monday in the year, and the left eye in man, male and female. 27-28 The Book of Formation 10. He caused the letter D to reign in fruitfulness, bound a crown upon it and fused them together. He produced by means of them, Mars, in the universe, Tuesday in the year, and the right ear in man, male and female. LL. He caused the letter K to reign in life, bound a crown upon it and fused them together. He produced by means of them, Mercury, in the universe, Wednesday in the year, and the left ear in man, male and female. 12 He caused the letter P to reign in dominion, bound a crown upon it and fused them together. He produced by means of them, Jupiter, in the universe, Thursday in the year, and the right nostril in man, male and female. 18 He caused the letter R to reign in peace, bound a crown upon it and fused them together. He produced by means of them, Venus, in the universe, Friday in the year, and the left nostril in man, male and female. 14 He caused the letter TH to reign in beauty, bound a crown upon it and fused them to Jet.her. He produced by means of them, Saturn, in the universe, Saturday in the year, and the mouth in man, male and female. 15 7 double, BGDKPRTH. There were designed by means of them, 7 earths, 7 heavens, 7 continents, 7 seas, 7 rivers, 7 deserts, 7 days, 7 weeks, 7 years, 7 fallow years, 7 jubilees, and the holy palace, hence under all the heavens did he love the heptad. 16 7 double, BGDKPRTH. How did he fuse them together? 2 stones build 2 houses, 3 stones build 6 houses, 4 stones build 24 houses, 5 stones build 120 houses, 6 stones build 720 houses, 7 stones build 5,000 houses. Make a beginning herefrom and calculate further what the mouth cannot pronounce and what the ear cannot hear. Chapter V1. 12 Simple, letters, P, Pajair to MLIL equals HVZCH till N so TZQ. Their foundation is, sight, hearing, smell, speech, taste, coition, work, movement, wrath, mirth, meditation, sleep. 212 Simple, HVZCH till NS0 TZQ, 12 and not 11, 12 and not 13. Their foundation corresponds to the 12 oblique angles, or directions: the northeast angle, the southeast angle, the above east angle, the below east angle, the above north angle, the below north angle, the northwest angle, the southwest angle, the above west angle, the below west angle, the above south angle, the below south angle. And they stretch out and diverge into infinity. These are the arms of universe. 812 Simple, HVZCH till NS0 TZQ. He designed, formed, purified, exchanged, and weighed them, and produced by means of them 12 zodiacal signs in the universe, 12 months in the year, and 12 chief members, in man, male and female. 12 zodiacal signs in the universe: Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricornus, Aquarius, Pisces. 12 months in the year: Nisan, Lyre, Sivan, Tammuz, Abh, Elul, Tiri, Marlesvan, Kislev, Tabath, Sabath, Adar. 12 chief members, in man, male and female: 2 hands, 2 feet, 2 kidneys, the liver, the spleen, the gall, the stomach, the colon, the bowels. He made them according to the order of a battle, even one against the other made God. 7 He caused the letter H to reign in sight, bound a crown upon it and fused them together. He produced by means of them, Aries in the universe, Nisan in the year, and the right hand in man, male and family. 8 He caused the letter V to reign in hearing, bound a crown upon it and fused them together. He produced by means of them, Taurus in the universe, Ijjar in the year, and the left hand in man, male and family. 29-30 The Book of Formation 9. He caused the letter Z to reign in smell, bound a crown upon it and fused them together. He produced by means of them, Gemini in the universe, Sivan in the year, and the right foot in man, male and female. 10 He caused the letter CH to reign in speech, bound a crown upon it and fused them together. He produced by means of them, Cancer in the universe, Tammuz in the year, and the left foot in man, male and female. 11 He caused the letter T to reign in taste, bound a crown upon it and fused them together. he produced by means of them, Leo in the universe, ABH in the year, and the right kidney in man, male and family. 12 He caused the letter I to reign in coition, bound a crown upon it and fused them together, he produced by means of them, Virgo in the universe, Elul in the year, and the left kidney in man, male and female. 13 He caused the letter L to reign in work, bound a crown upon it and fused them together, he produced by means of them, Libra in the universe, Tisri in the year, and the liver in man, male and female. 14 He caused the letter N to reign in movement, bound a crown upon it and fused them together, he produced by means of them, Scorpio in the universe, Marhasvan in the year, and the spleen in man, male and female. 15 He caused the letter S to reign in wrath, bound a crown upon it and fused them together, he produced by means of them, Sagittarius in the universe, Kislev in the year, and the gall in man, male and family. 16 He caused the letter 0 to reign in mirth, bound a crown upon it and fused them together, he produced by means of them, Capricornus in the universe, Tebath in the year, and the stomach in man, male and female. 17 He caused the letter TZ to reign in meditation, bound a crown upon it and fused them together, he produced by means of them, Aquarius in the universe, Sabaoth in the year, and the colon in man, male and female. 18 He caused the letter Q to reign in sleep, bound a crown upon it and fused them together, he produced by means of them, Pisces in the universe, Adar in the year, and the bowels in man, male and female. 19 He made them according to the art of warfare, arranged them as a wall, and armed them as for battle. Chapter 6:1 There are 3 mothers, that are 3 fathers, from them proceed fire, air, and water. 3 mothers, 7 double, and 12 simple. 2. AMSH, BGDKPRTH, HVZCH till NS0TZQ. These are the 22 letters by means of which the Holy, 1, blessed be He, the Lord of hosts, the living Elohim, the God of Israel, hath founded everything. He is great and immalded, the one who dwelleth in the height, eternally. His name is immalded and holy. He is immalded and holy. 8 A proof of this and true tokens are, the universe, the year, and man. 12 are beneath, 7 upon these, and 3 upon the 7. From the 3 he founded his dwelling, and everything proceeds from 1. This is a token that he is one and hath no second, beside him. He is the only king in the universe. He is one and his name is one. For the numbers of the universe are 10, and 12, a proof of this and true tokens are, the universe, the year, and man, fire, air, and water, 7 planets and 12 zodiacal signs. The numbers of the year are 10, and 12 cold, heat and the temperate state, 7 days and 12 months. The numbers of man are 10 and 12, head, belly, and breast, 7 gateways and 12 chief members. 5 These are the 3 mothers, AMSHT. From these proceeded fathers, and from the fathers, descend, generations. 3 fathers and their generations, 7 planets and their hosts, and 12 oblique angles. A proof of these and true tokens are, the universe, the year, and man. 6. A law is, the dodecad, the heptad, and the triad. Their commissioners are, the dragon, the celestial, sphere, and the heart. 7 3 mothers, AMSH air, water, and fire, fire above, water below, and the air is an equilibrating law between the 2. The token is, the fire carries the water, M is mute, SH is sibilant, and A is an equilibrating law between the 2. 8 The dragon in the universe is like a king on his throne, the celestial sphere in the year is like a king in a province, the heart, in man, is like a king in warfare. 3182 The Book of Formation 9. God hath also set one thing against the other, the good against the evil and the evil against the good, good from good and evil from evil, the good marks out the evil and the evil marks out the good, good is reserved for the good ones and evil is reserved for the evil ones. 10 3 Each one stands alone for himself, one merited, one loaded with guilt, and one equilibrating between the two. LL7 are divided, 3 against 3 and 1 is equilibrating between the two groups. 12 are in warfare, 3 friends and 3 enemies, 3 life-givers, 3 destroyers. 18 3 friends, the heart and the ears 3 enemies, the gall, the tongue and the liver, 3 life-givers, the 2 nostrils and the spleen, 3 destroyers, the 2 lower apertures and the mouth, and God, a trusty king, ruleth them all from his holy place in all eternity. 14 1 over 3, 3 over 7, 7 over 12, and all are joined one to the other, a token of which is 22 objects in one body. 15. AMSHBGDKPRTHHVZCH-NS0TZQ. These are the 22 letters by means of which ITITH equals AHIH, it equals LH, MIT equals LHVH, CNH equals ALILM, MIT CNH equals ALHIM LHVH, NHL MIT equals IHVH SPAV, NLHL CNH equals ALHIM SPAV, H equals AL, 11, equals SHDL, JHMIT equals LHVHADNL, hath designed, all, he made 3 numbers of them and formed his whole world of them, by means of them he formed the whole creation and all that shall yet be created. 16 And when our father Abraham, peace be with him, had come, he beheld, contemplated, studied, and understood this, he formed and designed till he had reached it, then the Lord of the universe, blessed be his name, appeared to him. He took him to his bosom and kissed him on his head and called him Abraham his friend, he made a covenant with him and his children, therefore it is written, he had faith in the Lord. This was ascribed to him justly. He, the Lord, put the token of the covenant between his, Abraham's, hands, that is, the tongue, and between the feet, that is, the circumcision. He bound the 22 letters of the Torah to his tongue, and the Holy One, blessed be he, unveiled to him his secret. He let them, the letters, soak in water, burn in fire, and sway in the air, he let them shine in the 7 letars and lead in the 12 zodiacal signs. Table H The 10 Sephiroth according to Sepher Yetzirah. 1 Infinity of beginning. 2. Infinity of end. 3 Infinity of good. 4 Infinity of evil. 6 Infinity of height. 6 Infinity of depth. 7 Infinity of EBLLT. 8 Infinity of west. 9 Infinity of north. 10 Infinity of south. Transcendental spirit, air, water, fire, height, depth, EBLLT, west, north, Suad, Trans-Trial-Delaire 22 I, foundation matter, life. Letters. The 1L88 ins, the 1L88 ins IHV. IVH. HIB. HVI. VMVHI. IAJAD, OJ Vitality. Dash Table I1 The 3 mothers according to Sepher Yetzirah. And M. The Esseus of water. A. The Misilsi of air. SH. The essence of fire. Their foundation, merit. Mute, guilt. The equilibrating power. I guilt. Bibilant, merit, O universe, M earth. Atmosphere. Heavens. The year, A cold. Temperate state. Heat. Man, SH, belly. Chest. 1 _ head. II equilibrated forces. Perfect harmony. COCO table for the 7 doubles according to Sepher Yetzirah Cent BGDKPR equals ILIO01TH. They're the correspondence height. In space, depth. East. West. North. South. Holy Palace in the middle. Their foundation, wisdom, wealth, fruitfulness, folly, poverty, devastation, life, death, dominion, peace, slavery, misfortune, beauty, ugliness. ID 8I, TS, universe, M the year. A, Sunday. Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturn. I Saturday. G. Man, SH, right eye. Left eye. Right left ear. Ear. Changeable forces. Right nostril. Left nostril. Mouth. Table V. The 12 simples according to Sepher Yetzirah. HYZCHTILNSOTS. IQ. Their COR respond north-south height depth north-south height depth in space, east, 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 north, north, west, 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 south, south. Their foundation, sight, hearing, smell, speech, eating, coition, work, movement, wrath, mirth, meditation, sleep. GBLS universe, M Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricornus, Aquarius, Pisces. The year, A March 21 April 19 May 20 June 21 July 22 APR 19 May 20th June 21st July 22nd August 22nd Nisan, Ljar, Sivan, Tammuz, ABH, August 22 SEPT 23, Elul, September 23 OCT 23, Tiri October 23 NOV 22, Marl, 1 Evan, November 22 DEC 21 Kislev, December 21 JAN 20, Phoebeth, January 20 FEB 19, Sibath, February 19 MAR 21, Adar, OS Man, SH right hand, left hand, right foot, left foot, right left kidney, kidney, liver, constant forces, strife, milt, gall, stomach, rennet bag, bowels. Q1 Notes on the Book of Formation. The Book of Formation ITLDC equals Sepher Yetzirah, Sepher Yetzirah. Book SPR equals book, letter. Formation Yetzirah equals formation, creation, General 2:7. After setting aside provisionally those portions of Sepher Yetzirah which, on account of their content, we have come to regard as spurious, it was found that 72 verses remained, and may be taken to constitute the original text, as written by Rabbi Akiba. The old mystics sought to harmonize the outer form of a book with its inward significance, and the number 72 is in perfect correspondence with the subject matter of Sepher Yetzirah, because it can be derived from the name of the Lord in the following manner: IHVH, IHVIH, I, 10 plus 5 plus 6 plus 5, plus, 10 plus 5 plus 6, plus, 10 plus 5, plus 10 equals 72. Comp the schema Hamfarash, Exodus 14:19, 20, 21. Chapter I. The main subject in this chapter is the 10 Sephiroth, the transcendental nature of which may be termed obvious. See Table 2. I1. 32 Paths of Wisdom 1 NLRD NL1 NJ11, equals LB Nthib PLIABTH. Wisdom PLIABTH equals mystical wisdom. In the biblical narrative of the creation, General I, the name of Elohim is mentioned 82 times. 82 equals LB in Hebrew characters, and signifies heart, a symbol of spirituality and intelligence. Considering the mind of man as a faint reflex of the universal mind, which is God, it follows that any human idea is the vague image of a perfect idea, which is of God. Man endeavors to idealize this dim mind picture, and the result is a symbol which, so far as human intelligence can reach, will be in the like SS of the perfect idea. Man cannot think without the use of symbols. The 82 paths of wisdom are 82 notions which comprehend the whole creation. Under these fundamental ideas all that exists is classified. When the Lord wrote a number or a letter, 36 notes on the book of formation, 37 in each of these paths forces were created from which everything was formed. By means of their symbols, otherwise numbers and letters, these forces became apprehensible for the human mind. Thus, by means of their numbers and names, their symbols, they can be communicated to holy men, after long toil, long experience of divine things, and long meditation thereon. To reach an absolute knowledge of only one of these mystical paths of divine wisdom is, however, impossible for the human mind. He who endeavors to climb to these supreme heights of wisdom must first pass through the 50 gates of understanding, in other words, he must acquire an encyclopedic knowledge of all sciences. 50, in Hebrew characters KL, means all. And J equals KLH equals the bride of microprose opus. KNSTL, Ecclesiastes IA Israel, Zion, the Holy Palace. See notes 4. 4, II the Lord dash comma. Equals M equals Kurios, GR, Dominus, LAT. PS Lxiath. 4, this name is the first half of Tetragrammaton, MIT equals MVH, the name that must not be pronounced. The Lord of Hosts NLNL. MN, equals LLIVH Spav, PSXXIV10. The God, of Israel, CNN equals Alhim equals the strong God, of Israel. The living Elohim CMCI1N equals ALHIMFCHILMF equals the living Elohim, the Elohim of life. ALHIMF is a plural form, and is by some Kabbalists supposed to be the 7 forces that emanated from the only God in order to control the manifested world, terra vivantium. By others it is thought to be an expression for the Trinity of God as found in late Christianity. God-N equals AL equals God, strong. Numbers, letters, and words-LDCL equals BSPR, or VSVPR, VSPVR. These words are undoubtedly derived from the same root, viz. JC equals SPR equals book, letter, numbering, word, sound, 2 Chronicles 2:17. Pistoritas gives, scriptus, numeratis, pronunciatus. Postel Ritangelius Goldschmidt Simera Westcott Stenring Numrans, numerus, numeratus. Numero, numeranti, numerato. Zal, Zoller, Gazielts. Elocriture, i.e. nombre, la parole. Numbers, I.etters, sounds. Numbers, letters, words. 38 The Book of Formation numbers signify transcendental forces, i.e., the 10 Sephiroth. Letters signify basal forces, and these are 22. Words signify the combination of forces, i.e., the 231 gates, SY, chapter 2, 4 and 5. These 3 forms of expression are the symbols of prima factora. I2. Sephiroth MW, Jo equals SPIRVTH equals number. Equals it can be a derivation from ACPA IPA, GR, sphere. Equals predications logicre, Buxterv. Equals spiritus, LAT, Westcott. Ineffable Sephiroth dash, TI, L. Equals Oshrer, no comma, ML, Jo equals SPIRVTH Blimide, Job XXVI7. Pistoritas gives, Prater ineffabile. Postellus Retanglius Goldschmidt Simera Westcott Bellama Sephiroth. Prater illut ineffabile. Zelen oni et was. Sephiroths ineffables. Ineffable Sephiroth. 22 basal letters are 22 creating ideas or forces which human intelligence has symbolized in the Book of Thoth, or the major trump cards of tarot. The Hebrew letters which in Kabbalism are used as symbols of these 82 creating ideas are, in fact, the trump cards of tarot. The meaning which Sepher Yetzirah assigns to each letter has enabled us to place the tarot cards in their original and proper order, being that of the paths of wisdom. I8. The literal translation of the last part of this verse is as follows, and the only token in the middle -n, o equals me.h of the tongue and of membrum virile. Milh equals has a double meaning, word, circumcision. The covenant that God made with Abraham, General 17, had one spiritual and one material aspect. The token of the covenant had also one spiritual and one material aspect. The spiritual aspect of the token was the word of the tongue, neither shall thy name any more be Abram, but thy name shall be Abram. This was the sign of God to make a great people of Abraham and his seed. The material aspect of the token was the circumcision of the flesh, and ye shall circumcise notes on the book of Formation 89 the flesh of your foreskin. This was the sign of Abraham's and his seed's obedience to God and his commandments. I4. Throne, place. I5. In one lighty OVMQ, or, OMQ, equals infinity, profoundness. Good NL1 equals ong equals good, pleasure. SY11-4, evil N equals NGO equals evil, plague comma. Height C. Equals RVMF depth PO equals OMQ, or, OVMQ. MTH. East MLC equals MZRCH West dash comma O equals MORB. North PELT equals TZPVNF South C, equals DRVMF Lord dash it equals millimeter 10 plus 5 plus 10 plus 4 equals 29. 2 plus 9 equals 11 10 plus 1. The Sephirotic forces plus the force of union. 10 in 1, Fig 1. God SN equals AL, notes I1. I6. Flash a lightning. The 10 Sephiroth are often tabulated along a zigzag line. Emanate go out. On this verse rests the Sephirotic emanation theory which is further developed in Zohar. I7. Their end is in their beginning and likewise their beginning in their end. This signifies the transcendental nature of the 10 Sephiroth, Fig 1. The Lord one it equals IHID. Notes I5. 10:1. 8 Rabbi Akiba utters a warning against vain talk about the 10 ineffable Fig 1. Sephiroth and loose speculations on their nature, but, at the same time, he points out that the covenant was made by means of self-control and concentration of thought. This verse forms an introduction to the following 5 verses. LMQVMF-L, C PO equals MQVMF equals place, location, spot. I9. Spirit M, equals RVCH equals spirit, air. The living Elohim. Notes II, in, from, since. God SN equals AL, notes I1. Voice SP equals QVL. Word dash comma, equals DBR, or VDBVR. I10. Air from spirit, the breath of the Spirit of God. Transcendental air. Air M, equals RVCH 40 the Book of Formation I11. Water from air, the moisture of the breath of the Spirit of God. Transcendental water. The essence of the ode water CO equals MIMF. Wrote, designed. Formless-1 at 1 equals THBV void-1 at L equals BHV, General I2, ISAXXXIV11. According to Simera, Tohu is negative and can be formed by Bohu, which is positive. Snow 1C1L, equals SHLG Earth-L equals OPR. The creation of transcendental matter and transcendental form. Order. I12. Fire from water, the warmth or fire contained within the moisture breathed forth by the Spirit of God. Transcendental fire. The essence of vitality, General 2:7. Fire il, H equals Ash. Throne of glory L1 at Ho, equals KSAHKBVD. Seraphim CL1L, equals Sherpinf equals fiery, serpents, JSA 62, number XXI6, 8, dot. Op Banjayern. CGL1H equals AVPNIMF equals will, Ezek I16. Holy Anirna 1 Sln bit 111 equals chipped HQDSH, or, HQVDSH, equals holy animals, living creatures, cherubim, General 324, Exodus XXV18, 1 Kings 6:28. Ministering angels M11L, LHCO equals, V, Mlaki, H, SHRTH equals ministering angels, servant angels, General Slay 816, Dan X18, Dan 816, PSCIV 4. And with these three he founded his dwelling. This can be understood in several ways, a. 1. The throne of glory, 2. Seraphim, Ophanim, and the holy animals, 8. The ministering angels, and with these three he founded his dwelling. b. 1. The throne of glory, 2. Seraphim, 8. Ophanim, or holy animals, to ministering angels, and with these three he founded his dwelling. c. The throne of glory. 1. Seraphim, 2. Ophanim, and, 8. The holy animals, to ministering angels, and with these three he founded his dwelling. Notes on the Book of Formation 41, d. The throne of glory. 1. Seraphim, 2. Ophanim, or the holy animals, and, 8. Ministering angels, and with these three he founded his dwelling. e. The throne of glory. 1. Seraphim, 2. Ophanim, 8. The holy animals, or ministering angels, and with these three he founded his dwelling. Of these different explanations, a. is the most probable. The throne of glory corresponds to a. the equilibrating power, Seraphim, Ophanim, and the holy animals correspond to the three-pointed and fiery sh, the ministering angels, to the watery mi18. His great name, Tetragrammaton, the Lord. Notes 1. 1. Table 6 Tetragrammaton magic. I equilibrating power. IIHVHI coition. PQ.8 of H side. Plus active. V hearing. I result. I, H, side. RAOT passive. Love. Wands. Clubs. Knight. Empress. Cups. Hearts. Queen. Emperor. Swords. Spades. King. Child. Pentacles. Diamonds. Page. And AMSHMF active. Air. Water. Fire. Earth. Result. Sylph. I undine. Salamander. Gnome. I26Ns, the hexagram equals MGNFDVD equals Shield of David, the poles of the three dimensions. 42 The Book of Formation height, depth, east, west, north, and south. Upwards MO equals MOLH equals up, upwards. Stretched backwards, turned round. Right LO equals IMINF. Left shot. Equals SHMAL. See notes I5. This is the only verse in Sepher Yetzirah where south precedes north in enumeration of the cardinal points. The content of this verse shows clearly that the words south and north have been exchanged, an error which arose probably with some medieval transcriber, but is corrected in the present translation. After the Creator had sealed the east, he turned round in order to seal the west. In this position north is on his right and south on his left. The distribution of the different trigrams in the several texts is as follows: high text A MV text B my text CHIV text D IHV Simara. IHV true distribution. IHV depth east. IVHHIB IVHIVHHVI IVHHIVVIHVIHVIVMHIV West. HVIVHIVHIHIVHIVHIVHIVHI North South VHIVHIVHIVHIVHIVHIVHIVHIVHIVHI The name of the Lord, IHV, corresponds to height, dwelling in the height, SY, I. The info mood of the verb to be, W1 equals HIV. Corresponds to east. Future, shall be, it L equals VIH, corresponds to north. The imperative mood be, lit equals HVI. Answers to west and signifies sorcery. 4 trigrams are found in the 20th line of the great Kabbalistic symbol. See also Fig 2. I14. The first 4 Sephiroth con Fig 2. Statut 2 groups of transcendental elements, spirit, air, water, fire. The last 6 Sephiroth constitute 3 groups, the 3 dimensions of space. Chapter 2 This chapter embodies the secret of the great Kabbalistic symbol. 2.1. The 22 basal letters are 22 creating factors. Notes on the Book of Formation 43 or forces. These forces cannot be apprehended by the human mind unless they are symbolized. In Kabbalism their symbols are the 22 Hebrew letters. Notes I2. 3 mothers. See Notes 3. Sibilant, whistling. 2.2. He designed, formed, purified, and weighed them. This signifies the beauty and harmony of the creation. Purify-41. Equals TZRPF equals to melt, Bible, to purify, Bible, to unite, Talmud. Exchange-O equals IMR. Mimra equals word. Vabr equals he speaketh. He exchanged them, each one with all. The combination of symbols or letters. Words. Language. 2.8. The letters are classified according to their sounds, guttural, palatal, lingual, dental, and labial sounds. Late origin. 2.4, 5. Ring, wheel, circle. Gate has the same numerical value as path, SY, I1. All language. Combination of letters SHMF equals group of letters, name. Previous translators, thinking that the Hebrew expression SHMJ refers to the holy name of the Lord, inserted the letters of Tetragrammaton amongst the 231 gates and thus constructed the most impossible tables. The expression in question, SHMF, refers to the will with 231 gates, the great Kabbalistic symbol. The great Kabbalistic symbol, the 231 gates. 1800 years ago, when Rabbi Akiba ben Joseph reduced into writing the secret tradition of the Jews in the Book of Formation, he hesitated to unveil the greatest secret of the Kabbalah, the arcanum of the great symbol, which had been handed down to him from his forefathers. For this reason he embodied it in a riddle, SY, 2, 4 and 5, which many ancient and modern philosophers have tried in vain to solve. Of all the different tabulations, claiming to be the great arcanum of the Kabbalah, that we have examined, none is correct. The token of the original table Ong and Ngo was not to be found in any of them. We have succeeded in solving this riddle. The true Kabbalistic symbol, the great master key to the theoretical and practical Kabbalah, will be found facing p96 of the present translation. 44 The Book of Formation. The symbol consists of 21 lines, IHV equals 21. Each line contains 22 letters which, by means of 11 circles, are divided in 11 two-letter words, HV equals 11. See Table 6. The first circle is the perfect circle, because it contains all the letters of the alphabet. The letter A, the equilibrating power, is here combined with all the rest of the letters. For this reason the first circle may be put in rotation while the outer part of the symbol remains fixed. The 10 outer circles do not contain the equilibrating power, and are therefore dependent on the first circle and its movements. The first 5 of the 10 outer circles are more powerful than the last 5, because they show 21, MV equals 21, different forces, letters, against 15, M equals 15, different forces of the last 5 circles. Moreover, the letter that starts each circle corresponds in the first 6 circles of the symbol to the respective number of the circle. This is not the case with the last 5 circles, CH, T, K, M, O. According to the symbolism of Kabbalah, we should expect to find the greatest secrets where the most powerful letters are combined. The most powerful letters of the alphabet are the 3 mothers, A, M, S, H. The mothers are combined in 3 places, AM in the 12th line, ASH in the 20th line, and SHM in the 5th line. AM. In the 12th line we read NGO, plague. If we take the table as a symbol of the universe, NGO is the idea of suffering. If we take the table as a symbol of man, NGO is the suffering of man. How can this suffering be overcome? Make the apprehensible reflections of the 10 Sephiroth as if your own property. Let the ego move 10 steps forward. Turn the first circle, the innermost circle of the symbol, 10 steps forward and read in the 12th line O, G, N, B, G, A, Ong, good, pleasure. This is the token or the key of the great SYMBPL and is given in chapter 2. Verse 4. Ash. In the 20th line we read MV, HIB, and VM, the trigrams of the positive trigon of the hexagram, Fig 2. VHI, the last seal, is also found equilibrating the first seal IHV. SHM. In the 5th line we read SHM, combination of letters. This word was used by Rabbi Akiba to signify the great masterkey of the Kabbalah. It has been explained that this word has been misunderstood by students of the Kabbalah, and owing hereto the riddle has remained unsolved for 18 centuries. In the 8RD line, the 4T.H and 5th circle, we find the name of the Lord, it equals IH, notes I1, and 6 circles above this we find conjunctions of equal forces in the 1st, 2nd, 8RD, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 21st lines. These 7 conjunctions correspond to the notes on the Book of Formation 45 7 double letters. The 7th, line 21, of these conjunctions corresponds to TH, Saturn, the 1st, Pop, to B, Sun, the 2nd, Ksats, to G Moon, the 3rd, QOQ, to D, Mars, the 4th, Roar, to K, Mercurius, the 5th, Shosh, to P, Jupiter, the 6th, Thoth, to R, Venus. Compare Table 9. In the 8th and 9th circles, the 9th to the 19th lines, we find similar conjunctions signifying the 10 Sephiroth. The great symbol of the Kabbalah embodies the secret of the practical Kabbalah. 2.6. Formless. Notes I11, non-existent JH equals AINF equals non-existent, the abstract conception of nothingness, weight, fine Karens, Rosenroth. Large columns, 2 Sprint 317, compare the Sephirotic columns or pillars of the Zohar. Intangible air, transcendental air. Notes I10, combination of letters. Notes 2. 5, Chapter 3. This chapter interprets the 3 most powerful symbols of the Hebrew alphabet, the 3 mothers, T%, O equals AMSH. The law of equilibrium, Table 3. 3.1. This verse contains the fundamental law of the Kabbalah, the law of equilibrium. SH and M are a pair of scales. In some cases M represents the good and SH represents the evil, in other cases M is the scale of evil and SH is the scale of good. A is always the equilibrating point between the scales. The symbol of this point is the tongue or pointer of the scales. If a finger directs the pointer, the 2 scales are also directed. If the finger represents the willpower, good and evil are directed by the will. A is a symbol of man. If he does not use his willpower, the surrounding conditions move him, as the pointer is moved by the weights on the scales, but, if man uses his willpower, he is able to master the surrounding conditions, as the scales are mastered by the finger which directs the pointer. 3.2. 6 seals - V, NLL1 Jo T%, T% equals SHSHMBOVTH equals 6 signet rings, 6 seals. Notes I13, 14. The three mothers are sealed by the Lord, IHV, within the three dimensions of space and thus made apprehensible for the human intellect. Produced, born. Fathers, patriarchs. 46 The Book of Formation 3. 8 He designed, formed, purified, weighed, and exchanged them. Notes 2. 2. Universe the world, macrocosm, M. F1H equals ARTZFTHE Earth, the year time, A. Man body, microcosm, SH. Male and female, general I27, male, SH, female, M, love, A. Table 6. 3-5. Air, water, fire, and earth. Notes I10, 11, 12, heaven Seattle, equals Shmimf. Notes 2-5, SHMF, wind, atmosphere. 3-6. Cold, winter, heat, summer. Temperate state it equals RVIH has a double meaning equals temperate state, between heat and cold, moist, between dry and wet, PSXXIII5, PSLXI12. 3-7. Chest, body. Man head chest belly male. Shamash Misha female. SHMAAMSH MASH Several authors have put forth intentional blinds regarding the three mothers. No equals AMTH, truth, and Lo equals AMN, amen, have been given as mother letters. These evasions were prompted probably by the fact that SH relates to fire, transmutation, and the devil. Chapter 4 In this chapter the holy and the averse heptad are expounded. Table 4. 4.1. Life CN equals Chimph, plur masculine, equals life, support, equals health. PCCTI, SHLVMF, masculine, equals peace, salvation. Wisdom-I to M equals CHKMH, fern. Equals wisdom, learning, art. Wealth-TI, equals Oshra, masculine, or Ovshra. Grace, beauty, .ln equals CHNF or 1n equals Chinf, masculine. Fruitfulness-L equals ZRO, maize. Equals fruitfulness, seed, sperm. Dominion CTI, OO equals VMMSHLH, fern. Equals dominion, power. 4.8. Permutation, contrast. Death NO equals myth, maize. Notes on the Book of Formation 47 Misfortune equals RO, masculine, equals misfortune, evil, weakness, illness. Folly N1N equals AVLTH. Poverty L11 equals OVNI or 11 equals ONI, masculine. Ugliness 11 equals Kyaver, masculine. Devastation Elutl, equals SHMMH, fern. Equals devastation, desolation. Slavery TWLJ.L equals OBDVTH, fern. 4.4. Height, depth, east, west, north, and south. Notes I5, Notes 3-2, 6 seals. The Holy Palace TI, I1J, ILIL equals, V, HIKLHQVDSH, Jerusalem or Zion, where man can communicate with God. It corresponds to the mouth. According to Zohar it relates to the organ of sexual intercourse. 4.5. Emin and search out by means of them. This refers to Kabbalistic astrology and its associated arts. Throne, place. 4.6. He designed, formed, purified, weighed, and exchanged them. Notes 2. 2. Universe, the year, man, Notes 111.8, 7 weeks. Probably the 7 weeks between Passover and the Feast of Pentecost. 4.7-14. The order of the planets is according to text A, CP 67. The other texts give, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Sun, Venus, Mercurius, Moon, or Saturn, Mars, Mercurius, Sun, Jupiter, Venus, Moon, or Sun, Venus, Mercurius, Moon, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars. The planets are enumerated, verse 7, in an order that corresponds to their velocity. First Saturn, which is the slowest of the 7 planets, then Jupiter and Mars. The apparent velocity of the Sun lies between the velocity of Mars and that of Venus. After Venus comes Mercurius, and last, the swiftest of them all, the Moon. Each of these planets has 2 poles, one negative and one positive. The negative pole corresponds to the evil foundation and the positive to the good foundation. These twice 7 different powers are directed by the zodiacal signs. In Aries they are erected according to the constant virtues of that sign, and so on through all the 12 signs of the zodiac. Thus we get, 2x7x12 equals 168. 168 different planetary influences in the universe. Table 7 shows these 168 influences. The planets are inserted in the table according to the order of their velocity, starting at the upper left-hand corner and proceeding downwards. The table consists of 48, the book of formation 7 columns. The planets of the uppermost row correspond to the days of the week, and the 24 influences of each column correspond to the hours of the day. Thus the Hebrew letters, products in time otherwise, in the year are deducted from their products in the universe, the planets and the zodiacal signs. It is interesting to note that Saturday precedes Sunday in the enumeration of the days of the week. Compare this with the 7 conjunctions of forces in the great symbol of the Kabbalah, see plate facing P24. There is a close spiritual relation between the last and the first, in this case between Th, Saturn, and B, Sun. Saturday is the Sabbath of the Jews and Sunday is the Sabbath of the Christians. If we compare the tarot correspondences of Th and B, we shall reach the same result. The head of the hanged man signifies the sun, the gallows, in the form of a Hebrew Th, signifies the orbit of Saturn. Compare the 20th path in the 82 Paths of Wisdom, note 611. Texte Durably, French Breslau edition, 1913. Dictionary. Saturn. Jupiter, Mars, Sun, Venus, Mercury, Moon, Shthi, TZDQ, MADIMF, CHM, CHNV, GHKV, KB, LBNH, SHB, THLN, RL, TZDQ, NVGH, CHM, CHKV, KB, MADIMF, LBGH, 524687. MZL. SHM, SH. KKB, NGH. KKB. IRCH. Right ILOIL equals OINF Fern. Left IRHAMIL equals OINF SHMAL, Fern. Right ear LO, PH, 1L1H equals AVZNFIMINF, AZNFIMINF, masculine. Left ear ARHAM, LLH, JL1H equals AVZNF SHMAL, AZNF SHMAL, masculine. Right nostril ROMJ equals Nshur IMIN, masculine. Left nostril 1 Arham MJ equals Nshur SHMAL, masculine. Mouth-L equals PH, common gender. 415. Holy Palace. Notes 4. 12 enumerations, corresponding to the 12 simple letters, plus 11 heptads and the Holy Palace. 11x7 equals 77, 77 1 equals 78, 78 is the number of cards in the tarot. Notes on the Book of Formation 49 Table 7 The Chaldean Calendar Satur. Day. Sunday. THHBV, Monday. TVU Day. GCHDI Wednesday THUR8 Day. Day. KLPS Friday. RTZ Hourl J. 12 to 1 AMPHRVTHCHBIGLDSKFTZF1 to 2 AMDHKVPCHRITHNBSGTZ 2 to 3 AMBHGVDCHKIPFNFRSTHTZ 3 to 4 AMRHTHZBCHGIDNKSPFTZF 4 to 5 AMKHPZRCHTHIBNGSDTZ 5 to 6 AM. GHDZKCHPIRNOBTZ 6 to 7 AMTHHBZGCHDIKFNFP0RTZ 7 to 8 AMPHRZTHTBIGND0KFTZF 8 to 9 AMDHKZ underscore BHGZ RHTHZKHPZPTRITHNB0DTKIPFNFR0 BTGIDNK0RTTHLBNG0GTZ 9 to 10 AMTHQ 10 to 11 AMPQ 11 to 12 AMDQ 12 to 1 PMGHDZKTPLRNOBQ 1 to 2 PMTHVBZPVRZGT that DLKFNFP0BLGND0RQKQ 2 to 3 PM 3 to 4 PMDVKZPTRLTHSB0GQ 4 to 5 PMBVGZDTKLP SR0THQ 5 to 6 PM underscore RVTHCHBTGLDSK0 PQKVPCHRTTHLBSG0 DQ 6 to 7 PM 7 to 8 PM GVDCHKTPLRSTHTZBQ 8 to 9 PM THVBCHGTDLKSPFTZFRQ 9 to 10 PM PVRCHTHIB LGSDTZKQ 10 to 11 PM DVKCHPIRLTHSBTZGQ 11 to 12 PM 450 The Book of Formation 4. 16 1 stone, 1 to 1 HOULL 6. 2 stones, 1x2 equals houses. 3 stones, LX2x3 equals 6 hour, e. 4 stones, LX2x3x4 equals 24 H0 UBE8. 5 stones, 1x2x3x4x5 equals 120 houses. 6 stones, 1x2x3x4x5x6 equals 720 houses. 7 stones, 1x2x3x4x5x6x7 equals 5040 houses. 8 stones, 1x2x3x4x5x6x7x8 equals 40,320 HOULL 68. 9 stones, 1x2x3x4x5x6x7x8x9 equals 362,880 HOULL 68. 10 stones, 1x2x3x4x5x6x7x8x9x10 equals 362,880 houses. 11 stones, 1x2x3x4x5x6x7x8x9x10x11 equals 399,16800 Houbel. 12 stones, 1x2x3x4x5x6x7x8x9x10x11x12 equals 479001600 houses. Stones, letters. Houses, words. Chapter. This chapter elucidates the secrets of the constant dodecad. Table VB1. Side H equals RAIH, fern. Vary DGL 1011, equals SHMOH, SHMO, verb, equals here. Sman N equals, rich, Rick, Rika, masculine. Spkekidal 1I, equals sheesh, SHCHH, SHVCHH, fern. Equals speech, low speech. Taste dash, RTJR, NRTJ equals loith, lot, fern. Equals eating, diction, eating and drinking, savor. Coition dash CLI, T backslash equals shmish, masculine. Work dash, NLL, NLL, C equals mosh, osh, masculine, equals work, action, employment. Movement dash, 1RN, dot RN equals HLVKF, HILVKF, maze. Equals movement, walking, motion. Rath LLL equals RVGZ, masculine, equals wrath, anger, excitement. Mirth dash, PNLL, PLNLL, equals SHCHVQ, masculine, equals mirth, laughter, idolatry, sin. Meditation dash comma dot MN equals HRHVR, HRHR, her, masculine, equals meditation, thought, mind, Pistoritas, suspicion, postellus, imagination, Westcott. Sleep dash, H, 2, mil, M1I, equals SHINH, SHNH, Shina, fern. Equals sleep, Shina or shin, maize. Equals urine. Compare table I. These 12 words stand, according to several old Kabbalists, in a certain relation to PSHVTVTH notes on the Book of Formation 51b. Oblique 10 JCM equals ALKSVNF. NRI. X/I4/DRRA SOT III. Hegelreit. B/LOI/Z at LHJ, R1 NPTA. Fig 3. Fig 4. Stretch out, stretch themselves out. Hrift./JF/T and Dokjo. Fig 5b8. He designed, formed, purified, exchanged, and weighed them. See notes 2. 2 Zodiacal sign MZL equals place of ascending, shelter, fortune, fate, zodiacal sign. V4. Aries-NC low equals TLH equals Ram. Taurus-IM equals SHVR equals Bull. Gemini-CCIMTL equals Thabmemph equals Twins. Cancer 1100 equals SRTNF equals Crab. Leo at M equals Arm equals Lion. Virgo NC, ITLL equals BTHVLH equals Virgin. Libra CJLMO equals MAZNIMF equals Scales. Scorpio LP.L1 equals OQRB equals Scorpion. Sagittarius TLMP equals QSHTH equals Arch Capricornus-TL equals GDI equals Goat. Aquarius-C, T equals DLI equals Pale. Pisces CLT equals DGIMF equals Fishes. MV5. 12 months in the year, 10J equals NISNF, equals LIR, 10 equals SIVNF, not equals THMVZ, LM equals AB, C, ICM equals ALVL, MTL equals Shri, 1MO equals MRCHSHVNF, Simara gives, 1M equals CHSHVNF, ICOJ equals KSLV, Simara gives ICOJ equals KSLIV, JLLLO equals TBTH, LOLM equals SHBT, TM equals ADR. V6. Right hand ROT equals IDIMINF. Left hand CMOM T equals IDSHMAL. ID, maize, or fern, right foot ROCL equals RGLIMINF. Left foot CMOM CL equals RGLSHMAL. RGL, fern, right kidney 10MC, IJ equals GBLIA-IMINF, GBLIA-IMINF, equals right kidney, right testicle. Left kidney. CMOM MC, IJ equals GBLIA-SHMAL, GBLIA-SHMAL, equals left kidney, left testicle. GBLIA, fern, liver-TLJ equals KBD equals weight, pressure, masculine, heaviness, seat of melancholy, liver, Renosk or fern. 52 The Book of Formation 8 Pleen TN row equals TCHL, TCHVL, masculine. Having had their milt cut as fast runners. Talmud, Gall-I10 equals MRH equals bitter taste, poison, gall, pick, to be fat, to be disobedient, M equals RVSH, gall, HLMO equals mervia, pride, haughtiness. The following 3 words are very dubious, equals VHMSS. IOPI equals VKibite, PJLP equals VQVRQBNF stomach-HMSS, MSS, equals intestine, gut, bowel, private. secret, hidden, liquid, masculine, to melt, to dissolve, stomach, masculine, the first stomach of ruminants. QIBH, QBH, equals stomach, fem, craw of birds, the fourth stomach of ruiinants. The idea includes also the fat in or about this stomach, HQBH, rennet, used to curdle milk. Bowel QBRQBNF equals stomach in man, craw of birds, rectum in man, masculine. The translation of these dubious words according to Pistoritas Postellus Retanglia Simera Goldschmidt Westcott : coagulum, et ventriculus. Large intestine, spleen, and stomach, coagulum, et ventriculus. Int stina, sessica, et arteriare. Intestines, bladder, and arteries, les intestins, i.e. elastomach. Darm, magen, mast darm. Private parts, stomach, intestines. In an old commentary we read, too discontented or insulting, the liver, the gall. Too jolly or laughing, the colon, the spleen. Too advising, the kidneys. Too taking advice, the stomach, the bowels, rectum. Too robbing, the hands. Too hunting, the feet. Note : stomach, and bowels. God CITTH equals ALHIMF. Notes I1. V7 to 18. See notes V1 to 6. V19. As a wall, a circle, like a city wall, the zodiacal circle. There is a constant strife amongst the 12 simple letters, the zodiacal signs. They are all of the same strength and arranged round a circle. The directions and manifestations of these forces cannot be influenced or changed in any way, but they themselves influence other forces, i.e., the 7 double letters corresponding to the planets. Notes on the Book of Formation 58 Chapter 6. This chapter explains the relation in which the triad, the heptad, and the dodecad stand to each other. 6.1. That our three fathers means that copulation of different sex qualities was not used by the Creator when the essences of fire, air, and water were created. 6.2. The Ho Y2, 1 Lpil 1 equals VHQDVSH. About the names of the Lord, see notes I1. The first 2 verses of this chapter constitute in the TU the end of chapter V. We have ventured to transfer them to this chapter on account of their contents. 6.8. From the 3 he founded his dwelling, notes I12. 6.5. 12 oblique angles. This expression is misplaced. 12 zodiacal signs would be more reasonable. 6.6. The dodecad. Hvzachtilsazg. 12 forces arranged in a circle make one unity. This unity plus the 12 individual forces make 18. The finals of the heptad, KFPF equals 500 plus 800 plus 1800, 18. LNN equals 8, Deuteronomy 6:4, 1, unity, equals 18. M2, NL equals Brazhith, the first word in the Hebrew Bible, meaning in the beginning, equals 9:18, 9 plus 1 plus 8 equals 18. Itli-TN equals AHBH, love, equals 18. The heptad. BGDKPRTH equals 2 plus 8 plus 4 plus 20 plus 80 plus 200 plus 400 equals 709, 7 plus 0 plus 9 equals 16, 1 plus 6 equals 7. The finals of the dodecad, NFTZF equals 700 plus 900 equals 1600, 1 plus 6 equals 7. The sum of the squares on the 10 Sephiroth is equal to 885, 1 plus 20 1 plus 80 1 plus 40 1 plus 50 1 plus 62 plus 7 plus 82 plus 92 plus 102 equals 1 plus 4 plus 9 plus 16 plus 25 plus 86 plus 49 plus 64 plus 81 plus 100 equals 885, 8 plus 5 equals 16, 1 plus 6 equals 7. ILLJ1I, equals SHKINH, the Divine Majesty, equals 800 plus 20 plus 10 plus 50 MLI, plus 5 equals 885, 8 plus 5 equals 16, 1 plus 6 7. NL equals EBA SHILH, General Slicks 10, Shiloh shall come, equals 858, 8 plus 5 plus 8 equals 16, 1 plus 6 equals 7. NLI, O equals Mishich, Messiah, equals 858, 8 plus 5 plus 8 equals 16, 1 plus 6 equals 7. 1L equals OTZ, General 29, the tree of good and evil, equals 70 plus 90 equals 160, 1 plus 6 equals 7. 54 The Book of Formation the Triad. 2C equals AMSH equals 841, 8 plus 4 plus 1 equals 8. M equals SHDI, Almighty, Name of God, equals 814, 8 plus 1 plus 4 equals 8. R Roru equals MTTRVN, Angel of the Presence, World Prince, Zohar, equals 814, 8 plus 1 plus 4 equals 8. It, if M at LM equals VHNHSHLSHH, General 18-2, and 10, 3 men, equals 701, 7 plus 1 equals 8. RD, R colon LLRNJ01. Equals ALV Michael Gabriel Verpel, these are Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael, equals 701, 7 plus 1 equals 8. The dragon -RN equals THLI equals the dragon, which encircles the universe, 12 simple letters. Sphere RLRL equals GLGI, equals celestial, sphere, 7 double letters. The sphere precedes the dragon in the text, but as the dragon corresponds to the universe we have changed the order. 6-7. Notes 3, 5. 6-8. Table 8 to be I to the king. Dragon, H. Sphere, I. Heart, V. Universe, M, 12 zodiacal signs. 7 planets. Earth. The year. A. Man, SH, 12 months. II 7 days. Temperate state. 12 leading members. 7 gateways. Head. Reason. The dragon in the universe is like a king on his throne, because everything which is encircled by the Odic dragon, the zodiac, is ruled by the signs of the zodiac, as a country is ruled by its king. The sphere in the year is like a king in a province. The kingdom of the year has 52 provinces, the 52 weeks. The present week is like a king in his province. The heart, in man, is like a king in warfare. The human notes on the Book of Formation 55. Intelligence is always in warfare against ignorance and superstition. 6-9. God OILC Hill equals HALHIMF. Notes I1, the good marks out the evil, and the evil marks out the good. The evil is distinguished by means of the good, and the good is distinguished by means of the evil. Good is reserved for the good ones, and evil is reserved for the evil ones. Good. L equals TVB, IL, L equals TVBH equals good, and evil. Li equals RO, IL equals rho equals evil, and 6-10. Himself, or herself. Merited, sanctified, made happy, exonerated. Loaded with guilt, excommunicated, made unhappy, accused. Notes 3. 1, 6. 11 between the two groups, or amongst them. Amongst the 7 doubles, either B or TH is the equilibrating power, see the 20th path of the 82 paths of wisdom. If B, Sun, equilibrates, TH, Saturn, P, Jupiter, and D, Mars, constitute one group, R, Venus, K, Mercurius, and G, Moon, are the other group, or GDK one group, and PRTH the other. If TH, Saturn, equilibrates, D, P, and B constitute one group, R, K, and G the other group, or BRP one group, and GDK the other. Notes 4. 7-14, in the first line of Table 9. We find the doubles in an order that corresponds to their velocity in the universe. In the second line we find them in an order that corresponds to their enumeration in the year, the days of the week. If Saturn, is equilibrating, the spiritual focus see our notes to the 20th path of the 32 paths of wisdom, predominates, the material focus Sun, is then of lesser importance. This is symbolized in the third and fourth line of our table. The third line is deducted from the first line in the following manner: let band th in the first line exchange their positions. Th is now the equilibrating power and the polarity of the line is changed, it is written in the opposite direction. The fourth line stands in the same relation to the third as the second to the first. About the finals, see table X6. 13. This is the most clumsy of all the spurious passages in Sepher Yetzirah. 6:15. ILILH equals ABIH equals IM, Exodus 3:14. 1 plus 5 plus 10 plus 5 equals 21. Notes 2, 4, 5. 56. The Book of Formation Table 9. The equilibrium of the 7 doubles MASHCD Heath 7 JP0 BIJRK. GHPFKF4IJICD7/.PLR Heath 0B, GKIPFKF4IJIG, KRIJHKFIJITHH2 P7/ B0PF4DCKGRIKFIJITHHB0RIJP7/ PF 411 equals SHDI equals Almighty, General 17. 1, Ezek I 24. IN equals ADNI equals God. The name of the Lord that may be pronounced. Judd I 5. About the other names of God, see notes I1. Designed, written. He made 3 numbers of them. See the dodecad, the heptad, and the triad, note 6:6. 6:16. The Lord of the Universe JINC.T equals OLIMFADVNF. Bosom, lap. The Lord MVH. Notes I1, between his hands. A word-for-word translation would be, between the 10 fingers of his, 2, hands between his feet. A word-for-word translation would be, between the 10 toes of his, 2, feet. Notes I8. The, Thora M, equals, H, THVRH equals Pentateuch. The Holy-PM equals VHQDVSH. Notes on the Book of Formation 57 Table X. The 5 finals code. FTH, .01 BTJRIH. Their foundation, result. Doubles. Simples. IFPF, Myadical life and myadical death. Dominion OT, Iran slavery under unknown/Orku. Anti-movement in unknown Dominaana. TZT meditation, the body paralleled. Universe V, M Earth IJIWIT / Uranus. Neptune. Scorpio. Aquarius. The year, A cold. October 28, January 20. Wednesdays, Thursdays not, 22, February 19, when 0 in IT / when 0 in equals when IJI in ITT. When win equals OR 0 in equals or 0 in M. Or W in ITT. Or IJI in equals me r / Levan. Bebe.th man, SB, child. 8th gateway. 9th gateway. Milt. Poisonous fluids. The 32 paths of wisdom. The author of this tract is unknown. Judging from the 8 tyle of the treatise, it is of considerably later date than Sepher Yetzirah. As there are several extant versions which differ in various points, the tabulation of paths and their titles will be given according to Contes Colomira de Simara, and the translation off tract according to Waite and Westcott. The correspondences with Hebrew letters and the tarot symbols have been established on our own part. The transcendental decad, the first path, is called the mystical intelligence. HCD 10 CLLL, HPLH at LI1 lit.1 Humthib HANQRASHKL MPLA. Sephira 1. In tarot, the 4 aces. The first path is called the admirable intelligence, the supreme crown. It is the light which imparts understanding of the beginning which is without beginning, and this also is the first splendor. No created being can attain to its essence. Wait. The second path is called the illuminating intelligence. Hunthib HBNQRASHKL, MO equals Msher. Sepher 2. In tarot, the four twos. The second path is called the illuminating intelligence. It is the crown of creation and the splendor of the supreme unity, to which it is most near in proximity. It is exalted above every head, and is distinguished by Kabbalists as the second splendor. Wait. The third path is called the sanctifying intelligence. Hunthib HGNQRASHKLTIRL1PO equals MQVDSH, Sepher 3. In tarot, the four threes. The third path is called the sanctifying intelligence, and it is the foundation of primordial wisdom, termed the creation of faith. Its roots are AMKF. It is the mother of faith, which indeed emanates herefrom. Wait. 1. In the subsequent enumeration of paths only the variant qualifications of intelligence are given in Hebrew lettering. 58. The 32 paths of wisdom. 59. The fourth path is called the receptacular intelligence. Hunthib HDNQRASHKLL1LLJ/equals QBVO. Sepher 4. In tarot, the four fours. The fourth path is called the arresting or receiving intelligence, because it arises like a boundary to receive the emanations of the higher intelligences which are sent down to it. Herefrom all spiritual virtues emanate by the way of subtlety, which itself emanates from the supreme crown. Wait. The fourth path is named measuring, cohesive, or receptacular, and is so called because it contains all the holy powers, and from it emanate all spiritual virtues with the most exalted essences. They emanate one from the other by the power of the primordial emanation. Westcott. The supreme crown and the primordial emanation signify Sepher 1. The fifth path is called the radical or rooted intelligence. Hunthib HHNQRASHKIIIR1M equals NSHRSH, Sepher 5. In tarot, the four fives. The fifth path is called the radical intelligence, because it is more akin than any other to the supreme unity and emanates from the depths of the primordial wisdom. Wait. From the primordial depths of Chakma. Westcott. Primordial wisdom and Chakma signify Sephiroth 2. The sixth path is called the intelligence of separated emanation. Hunthib HVNQRASHKLT, TLL1DM equals SHPONBDL. Sepher 6. In tarot, the four sixes. The sixth path is called the intelligence of mediating influence, because the flux of the emanations is multiplied therein. It communicates this affluence to those blessed men who are united with it. Wait. It causes that influence to flow into all the reservoirs of the blessings with which these themselves are united. Westcott. The seventh path is called the hidden intelligence. Hunthib HZNQRASHKL no equals NSTHR, Sepher 7. In tarot, the four sevens. The seventh path is called the hidden intelligence, because it pours out a brilliant splendor on all intellectual virtues which 60 the book of phonation are beheld with the eyes of the spirit and by the ecstasy of faith. Wait. The eighth path is called the perfect intelligence. Hunthib HCHNQRASHKLTJCM equals SHLMF, Sepher 8. In tarot, the four TS. The eighth path is called the perfect and absolute intelligence. The preparation of principles emanates therefrom. Point 1. The roots to which it adheres are in the depths of the sphere magnificence, from the very substance of which it emanates. Wait. The ninth path is called the purified intelligence. HNTHLBHTNQRASHKL equals THVR. Sepher 9. In tarot, the four nines. The ninth path is called the purified intelligence. It purifies the numerations, prevents and stays the fracture of their images, for it establishes their unity to preserve them from destruction and division by their union with itself. Wait. The ninth path is named the purified intelligence. It purifies the numerations, proves and corrects the designing of their representations, it disposes their unity with which they are combined without diminution or division. Westcott. The 10th path is called the resplendent intelligence. Hunthib hinqrashklp. JMC equals mthmza. Sepher 10. In tarot, the four tens. The 10th path is called resplendent intelligence, because it is exalted above every head and has its seat in Bina, it enlightens the fire of all lights and emanates the power of the principle of forms. Wait. Causes a supply of influence to emanate from the Prince of Countenances. Westcott. The perfect triad, the 11th path is called the fiery intelligence. HNTHLBIANQRASHKLN, M, C equals MTZBCHTZCH, the mother letter SH fire 6. In tarot, the devil, the 11th path is called the fiery intelligence. It is the veil placed before the dispositions and order of the superior and inferior causes. Whosoever possesses this path is in the eye. It is the means of the primordial. Westcott. Bina equals understanding equals Sephira. 3. The 82 paths of wisdom. 61. Enjoyment of great dignity, to possess it is to be face to face with the cause of causes. Wait. The 11th path is named the fiery intelligence. It is the essence of that curtain which is placed close to the order of disposition, and this is a special dignity given to it that it may be able to stand before the face of the cause of causes. Westcott. The secret of transmutation is communicated from this path, sh. According to Eliphas Levi, La Clef des Grands Mystères, p. 284, this secret belongs to the 31st path. He applied the Hebrew letters in their alphabetical order to the 22 last paths. This manner of application is, however, entirely wrong. The 12th path is called the intelligence of transparency. HNTHLBIBNQRASHKL at L equals BHIR. The mother letter M water 9. In tarot, the world. The 12th path is called the intelligence of the light, because it is the image of magnificence. It is said to be the source of vision in those who behold apparitions. Wait. The 13th path is called the conductive intelligence of unity. Hunthib IGNQRASHKLLMO equals NHIG, or M1 hit. Hakt. The mother letter A8. In tarot, the magician. The 13th path is called the inductive intelligence of unity. It is the substance of glory, and it manifests truth to every spirit. Wait. It is the consummation of the truth of individual spiritual things. Westcott. No magical work can be accomplished without communication with this path. It is the equilibrating power and the source of volition. It is the spiritual focus of gravitation and the directing force. The conductive intelligence is always accompanied by responsibility. These two ideas stand in direct proportion to each other. The holy dot and the averse heptad, the 14th path is called the luminous intelligence. HNTHLBIDNQRASHKL Ho equals Mayor. The double letter B Sun 0. In tarot, the Sunday. The 14th path is called the illuminating intelligence. 1. The intelligence of transparency. Westud. 62. The Book of Formation at JS the Institutor of Arcana, the foundation of holiness. Wait. The path of wisdom and folly. The 15th path is called the constituting intelligence. HNTHLBTVNQRASHKL00 equals Mohammad. The double letter G Moon in tarot, the moon. The 15th path is called the constituting intelligence, because it constitutes creation in the darkness of the world. L according to the philosophers, it is itself that darkness mentioned by scripture, Job XXXVIII. 9. Cloud and the envelope thereof. Wait. The path of wealth and poverty. The 16th path is called the eternal intelligence. Hunthib IVNQRASHKLMTJ equals Ensk. The double letter D Mars C. In tarot, the chariot. The 16th path is called the triumphant and eternal intelligence, the delight of glory, the paradise of pleasure prepared for the just. Wait. The path of fruitfulness and devastation. The 17th path is called the sensible and disposing intelligence. HNTHLBIZNQRASHKLI2, LI1I1 equals HHRGSH, the double letter K Mercurius. In tarot, death. The 17th path is called the disposing intelligence. It disposes the devout to perseverance, and thus prepares them to receive the Holy Spirit. 2. Wait. The path of life and death. The 18th path is called the emanative intelligence or house of influence. HNTHLBICHNQRASHKLL1DI2, I1111 equals Bishpo. The double letter P Jupiter 7/. In tarot, the Hierophant. The 18th path is called the intelligence or house of influence 8, and thence are drawn the arcana and the concealed meanings which repose in the shadow thereof. Wait. The path of dominion and slavery. 1. It constitutes the substance of creations in pure darkness. Westcott. It is called the foundation of excellence in the state of higher things. Added by Westcott. By the greatness of whose abundance the influx of good things upon created beings is increased. Added by Wildcat. The 32 paths of wisdom 63. The 19th path is called the intelligence of the secret of spiritual activities. Hunthib ITNQRASHKL to 1R1 did 110 equals SVD Bobov. The double letter R Venus. In tarot, the star. The 19th path is called the intelligence of the secret, or, of, all, spiritual activities. The fullness which it receives derives from the highest benediction and d the supreme glory. Wait. The path of peace and misfortune. The 20th path is called the intelligence of will. HNTHLBKNQRASHKLP it equals HRTZVNF, the double letter TH Saturn H. In tarot, the Hanged Man. The 20th path is called the intelligence of will. It prepares all created beings, each individually, for the demonstration of the existence of the primordial glory. Wait. The path of grace and ugliness. Th, Saturn, the 7th and last of the heptad, is like an ellipse having one of its foci. Ina, the equilibrating power, the spiritual sun, and the other in B, the sun. The double letters G, Moon, D, Mars, K, Mercurius, P, Jupiter, and R, Venus, are always within the limits of this ellipse. Th and B, the first of the heptad, stand in a very close spiritual relation to each other. Notes 4:7-14, 6. 11. The constant dodecad, the 21st path is called the intelligence of desire. Hunthib KANQRASHKLMP1 LPTDNIT equals HCHPTZFHMBVQSH, the simple letter H Aries RR. In tarot, the Empress. The 21st path is called the rewarding intelligence of those who seek. It receives the divine influence, and it influences by its benediction all existing things. Wait. The path of sight. The 22nd path is called the faithful intelligence. Hunthib KBNQRA.SHKLLONJ equals NAMNF. The simple letter V Taurus, J. In tarot, the Emperor. The 22nd path is called the faithful intelligence, because spiritual virtues are deposited and augment therein. The 21st path is named the conciliating intelligence. Westcott. 64 The book of formation until they pass to those who dwell under the shadow thereof. Wait. The 22nd path is named the faithful intelligence, by its spiritual virtues are increased, and all dwellers on earth are merely under its shadow. Westcott. The path of hearing. The 23rd path is called the stable intelligence. Hunthib KGNQRASHKLCP equals QIIMF. The simple letter Z Gemini 2. In tarot, the High Priestess. The 23rd path is called the stable intelligence. It is the source of consistency in all the numerations. Wait. The path of smell. The 24th path is called the imaginative intelligence. Humthib KDNQRASHKLLLO equals DMIVNI. The simple letter CH Cancer QZL. In tarot, strength. The 24th path is called the imaginative intelligence. It is the ground of similarity in the likeness of beings who are created to its agreement after its aspects. Wait. The path of speech. The 25th path is called the intelligence of temptation or trial. Humthib KHNQRASHKLILCL equals N Sivni. The simple letter T Leo N. In tarot, temperance. The 25th path is called the intelligence of temptation or trial, because it is the first temptation by which God tests the devout. Wait. The PA.TH of eating and drinking. The 26th path is called the renewing intelligence. Humthib KVNQRASHKL IRTMO equals MCHDSH, or me LMO equals MCHVDSH. The simple letter L Verg 01JL. In tarot, the lovers. The 26th path is called the renewing intelligence, for thereby G blessed be he, reneweth all which is capable of renovation in the creation of the world. 1. Wait. The path of coition. The 27th path is called the natural intelligence. 1. Reneweth all the changing things which are renewed by the creation of the world. Westcott. The 82 paths of wisdom 65 Thib, KZ, NQRASHKLLC equals MB. The simple letter L Libra. In tarot, Lustus. The 27th path is called the natural intelligence, whereby the nature of everything found in the orb of the sun is completed and perfected. Wait. The 27th path is the exciting intelligence, and it is so called because through it is consummated and perfected the nature of every exist.ent being under the orb of the sun, in perfection. Westcott. The path of work. Contes Colomira de Simera and Mr. Weight give 28, kch, as the numher of this path. The tel jt followed by drive westco u gives the correct numher, which is 27. The 28th path is called the palpable or active intelligence. Thib, kch, .nqrashkllc equals mvrgsh, the simple letter N Scorpio it /OL tarot, wheel of fortune. The 28th path is called the active intelligence, for thence is created the spirit of every creature of the supreme orb, and the activity, that is to say, the motion, to which they are subject. Wait. The path of movement. This path is omitted by Drive Westcott. In the versions of Contes Colomira de Simera and Mr. Weight it is numhered the 27th, kz. Though .t this is a mistake may be found by comparing the contents of this path and the 27th with the foundations of the 7th and 8th of the simple letters, L and N. Sy, chapter V13 and 14. The 29th path is called the corporeal intelligence. Humthib KTNQRASHKLCLLC equals MVGSHMF, the simple letter S Sagittarius 1. In tarot, the tower. The 29th path is called the corporeal intelligence, it informs every body which is incorporated under all orbs, and it is the growth thereof. Wait. The path of wrath. In black magic this path helps the operator to come en rapport with his victim. The 30th path is called the collective intelligence. Humthib LNQRASHKLRR, equals KLLI. 66 The Book of Formation, the simple letter O Capricornus Yen. In tarot, the Fool, the 30th path is called the collective intelligence, for thence astrologers, by the judgment of the stars and the heavenly signs, derive their speculations and the perfection of their science according to the motions of the stars. Wait. The path of mirth. The 30th FLNT path is called the perpetual intelligence. Humthib 1.1 ANQRASHKL071 equals THMIDI. The simple letter TZ Aquarius equals dot. In tarot, the Hermit. The 31st path is called the Perpetual Intelligence. Why is it so called? Because it rules the movement of the sun and the moon according to their constitution, and causes each to gravitate in its respective orb. Wait. The path of meditation. The agility to concentrate thought and to keep it along a given line for any length of time, even as the sun and the moon are kept in their orbs, is communicated from this path. The 32nd path is called the Assisting Intelligence. Humthib LBNQRASHKLLLJ equals NOBD. The simple letter Q Pisces. In tarot, Judgment. The 32nd path is called the Assisting Intelligence, because it directs all the operations of the 7 planets, with their divisions, and concurs therein. Wait. The path of sleep. End of the 32 Pat M of Wisdom, Appendix The Mathematics of the Sepher Yetzirah. Appendix The Mathematics of the Sepher Yetzirah by H. Stanley Redgrove, B.Sc, AIC, FCS. Publishers Note, this article first appeared in the Occult Review 39, No. 2, February, 1924. 85-91. A new and excellent translation of the Sepher Yetzirah by Mr. Knud Stenring has recently been published, under the able editorship of Mr. A.E. Waite L., and in consequence an increased interest on the part of students of occultism in this extraordinary work, though it is one which has always fascinated and attracted them, may be anticipated. The time seems opportune, therefore, for offering some considerations and conclusions touching one aspect of the subject matter of the Sepher Yetzirah, which I think will be of assistance to the student in his endeavor to unravel the riddles that this book offers. Naturally, in a work which opens by the declaration that God created his universe by the 3 forms of expression, numbers, letters, and words, the occurrence of various numbers is no matter for surprise. The point I wish to make plain in this contribution to the subject is that these numbers are significant, and that certain of the more important of them can be arrived at by a particular mathematical calculus known as the theory of permutations and combinations. Whether the author of the book, whoever he may have been, and I am not one, the Book of Formation, Sepher Yetzirah, by Rabbi Akiba ben Joseph. Translated from the Hebrew, with annotations, by Knud Stenring. With an introduction by Arthur Edward Waite. London, Messrs. W. M. Ryder and Son, Limited, 1923. 6970. Appendix prepared to pledge myself to Mr. Stenring's attribution of the authorship to Rabbi Akiba ben Joseph. Was acquainted with this particular calculus I cannot say, since the numbers in question could also have been obtained by the more laborious process of writing out all the permutations or combinations involved and totaling them up. But whatever method he adopted, the fact must be placed to his credit, as has not always been done, that his work was accurately carried out. Indeed, commentators on the Sepher Yetzirah have not dealt at all satisfactorily with the underlying mathematics of the book. In Westcott's translation too, for example, the following comment is made concerning the 231 gates of knowledge mentioned in the text. The number 242 is obtained by adding together all the numbers from 1 to 22. The Hebrew letters can be placed in pairs in 242 positions, thus ab, ag, ad, up to at, then ba, bb, bg, bd, up to bt, and so on to ts, foot. This is in direct order only, without reversal. Regarding these remarks, the following observations appear to be necessary. I. The number 242 is not obtained by adding together all the numbers from 1 to 22. These numbers add up to 253, as the reader may test for himself by simple addition. 3, 2, in the examples given of the pairs of Hebrew letters, although it is said this is in direct order only, without reversal, a case of reversal occurs, namely ab and ba. In neither case, however, does the number of pairs amount to 242. If reversed pairs are included, the total number of pairs is 484. If reversed pairs are excluded, the total is 253. These results hold on the assumption that each letter may be doubled in order to make a pair. In the Illustra to Sepher Yetzirah, the Book of Formation. Translated from the Hebrew by William Wynne Westcott, M.B., J.P. 3rd edition, revised throughout, London, 1911. 3. The sum of the series of whole numbers from 1 up to any number n may be more easily calculated by means of the formula, 2ns, the sum, equals, n plus 1. Appendix 71. Given this doubling is applied to band T, but not to A, so that it is not clear what is intended by the commentator. The text of the Sepher Yetzirah, however, makes it plain, I think, that doubling is excluded, and in this case, as I shall show in a moment, the total number of pairs, reversed pairs being excluded, is 231,4 as correctly given in the text. 22 basal letters, he designed them, he formed them, he purified them, he weighed them, and he exchanged them, each one with all, he formed by means of them the whole creation and everything that should be created, subsequently. The belief in the magic power of words is not only a notion of great antiquity, but is one very widespread amongst different races of mankind. Amongst many primitive peoples, for example, it is customary for the individual to have two names, one, his real name, being preserved as a great secret, since, if it became known to his enemies, they would, it is thought, be able to work evil magic on him by means of it. And the notion, too, is encountered in early religious systems that the power to control the gods belongs to him who possesses the secret of their true names. The new historical school of ethnology holds the view that the origin of the belief in the magic power of words, as of many other magical ideas, can be traced to the ancient Egyptian civilization. Ild accounts for it on the ground that spoken words are amongst those things which issue from the living man and serve to distinguish him from one that is dead, they being therefore givers of life. Whether this theory be valid in its entirety or not I do not propose to discuss. What I wish to do is merely to indicate how easy is the transition from a belief in the magical power of words to the theory that by means of words, and hence of letters, God created the world. God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Throughout the creation story as recorded by the book of Genesis, each stage in the creative process is preceded by the spoken command of the deity. Philosophically the journey is a long one to the gospel according to St. John, but here again we meet for if reversed pairs are included, the total number is, in this case, doubled and therefore amounts to 462. 72 Appendix with the same fundamental idea in the creative power of the Word, although the Word has now become personified as the second person in the Trinity. Now, there are special reasons relating to the language rendering the passage easy, and in fact, inevitable, for those whose native tongue is Hebrew, from a belief in the creative power of words to that in the creative power of letters. In the first place, every Hebrew letter is itself a word and hence an idea, so that when we are dealing with combinations of Hebrew letters we are not merely considering the combination of sounds, but also the combination of ideas. In the second place, the Hebrew alphabet is a consonantal one, and consequently any combination or arrangement of Hebrew letters can be pronounced, and is therefore a potential word. If we try to arrange in various ways two or more letters of the Latin alphabet chosen at haphazard, only a relatively few of these would be pronounceable. It would, for example, puzzle even a Pole or a Czech to pronounce XQB, owing to the fact that at least one vowel letter is necessary in every word. The Hebrew alphabet, therefore, provides us with 22 letters corresponding to 22 primary ideas, let us say, endeavoring to follow the thought of the author of Sepher Yetzirah, 22 elemental spiritual forces. These forces are capable of combination with each other in every conceivable manner, surely they are adequate to account for the multiplicity of the manifested universe. At first sight the reader may think 22 elements far too few in number, but mathematics shows that, although all the possible arrangements and combinations of 22 letters or forces is certainly not infinite, it is an almost inconceivably great number. I have endeavored to estimate this number, and I find that the total number of words which might be written by means of 22 letters, using each letter not more than once in each word, exceeds 3050 trillions. 5 Those of us who have been having 5. The actual number is the integral portion of the expression ein, 1e being the base of Napierian logarithms and equal approximately to 27183. Appendix 73. Business dealings with Germany in recent days have certainly got into the habit of thinking in unusually large numbers, but the immense magnitude of this particular number may perhaps be brought home to us if I point out that the fortunate possessor of 3,000 trillion marks, after exchanging them for British currency, would still find himself a multimillionaire, with an income of over £7 million sterling a year, assuming him to be able to invest his capital at 5%. Naturally, if the letters may be repeated, the number of possible words is increased, and if no limit be put upon the number of repetitions and the consequent length of the words, no limit can be assigned to their possible number. Now I do not suppose that the author of the Sepher Yetzirah worked out the total number of words that could be obtained by various combinations and arrangements of the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. I do not suppose that he even attained to the approximate figure which I have given above, since calculating even this rough approximation necessitated the use of logarithms, which could not have been known to him. But I do think that he was sufficiently awake to the possibilities to realize that the number was an immense one, and that the theory that all things in the universe are the product of 22 elemental forces would not break down for lack of a sufficiency of possible combinations and arrangements. Moreover, the possibility of dividing these 22 letters into 3 groups containing respectively 3, 7, and 12 letters each, gave the theory an additional attractiveness, owing to the symbolic significance of these 3 numbers and the possibility of equating the various letters to natural phenomena, such as the 3 elements 6, the 7 traditional planets, and the 12 signs of the zodiac. The student of the Sepher Yetzirah will realize, therefore, how considerably his understanding of the book will be facilitated if he has at his command the ELE6. Jewish philosophy appears to have recognized only air, fire, and water as elements. 74. Appendix Ments of that mathematical calculus which deals with the numbers of possible arrangements and combinations of various dissimilar objects. And seeing that the dot elements of this particular calculus are extremely simple and can be easily mastered by the tyro without any previous mathematical knowledge, I propose, for the benefit of the non-mathematical reader, to deal with the matter here and now, and to explain the meaning and use of certain simple formulae. To commence with, we must distinguish between what mathematicians call respectively a permutation and a combination. The difference is that order is significant as concerns the first, but not as concerns the latter. Thus, suppose A, B, C and D represent dissimilar objects, then ABC and ACB represent different permutations of these objects taken 3 at a time, but not different combinations, whereas ABC and ABD are both different combinations and permutations. First, to consider permutations, suppose we are given a number of dissimilar objects, n, and we are asked to find the total number of permutations that could be made using all the objects each time. Let us suppose for the sake of simplicity that the objects are letters and that we are engaged upon the problem of word building, any arrangement of letters being considered a word. Now it is clear that we can choose the first letter of our word in n different ways, but having chosen this we are reduced to n, 1 choices for the second letter, n, 2 choices for the third letter, and so on down to the last one, in the case of which we have no choice, that is to say can choose in only one way. Now, as it is clear that every possible choice of the first letter can be associated with every possible choice of the second letter, and this with every possible choice of the third letter and so on, the total number of words, or permutations, will be got by multiplying n by the whole number next below it, multiplying the result of this by the whole number next below the last multiplier, and so on down to 1. This quantity is frequently written L, and is called factorial n. For example, suppose we are asked to form all the possible 3-lettered words from the letters A, B and C, no letter being used twice. Appendix 75. Then the answer to our problem is 1L equals 3x 2x1 equals 6, the words being ABC, Ka, Cab, ACB, BAC, CBA. 2. The next problem is to find the number of permutations of a number of dissimilar objects when not all of them are taken at a time. Let us suppose, for example, that we have n dissimilar objects, but that we are to use only r of them for each arrangement, r being any number less than n. A moment's reflection will show us that the solution of this problem is very similar to that of the last one, only instead of multiplying n by n, 1, n, 2, and so on down to 1, we shall have to stop multiplying after we have multiplied together our terms. In other words, in order to get the same result as before, namely LE, we should have to go on multiplying by n, r more terms, and, these terms being whole numbers starting with n, r and decreasing regularly by ones down to 1, their product is equal to in, r. The required number of permutations therefore is, for example, suppose we are asked to find the number of possible two-letter words, any arrangement of letters being reckoned as a word, from the four letters A, B, C and D. The answer to the problem is L1 L1 14 x3 x2 x1 14 to 2 2 12 x L12, the words being AB, BC, AC, BD, AD, BA, CD, D, CA, DB, CB, DC. Finally, let us see if we can now solve the problem of finding the number of combinations of n dissimilar 76 appendix objects taken r at a time, 7r being a number less than n. Each combination, since order is immaterial as concerns combinations, is capable of yielding several permutations, and, in fact, as each combination contains r dissimilar objects, each is capable of yielding permutations. The required number of combinations, therefore, multiplied by is equal to the number of permutations of n things taken r at a time, that is to say, in other words, this quantity divided by is equal to the required number of combinations. This latter number, therefore, is equal to, for example, suppose we were asked to find the number of combinations of the four letters A, B, C, D, taken two at a time. The answer is 4x3 x2 xl2 x1 x2 xl equals 6, the combinations being AB, B, CD, AC, BD, AD. The three formulae I have developed above may seem rather unnecessary when dealing with such simple problems as I have so far given in illustration of their application, but they are extremely useful when we have to handle a large number of objects, such as, for example, the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. 7. It will be noticed, of course, that the number of combinations of n dissimilar objects taken n at a time is 1. Appendix 77. How, it is asked in the Sepher Yetzirah, did God combine, weigh, and exchange the letters? The answer is provided, A with all and all with A, B with all and all with B, G with all and all with G, and all of them turned round. Hence they come forth through 231 gates, and thus it comes about that the whole creation and all things proceed from one combination of letters. The only possible obscurity about the meaning of this is as to whether reversed pairs of letters are to be reckoned or not, that is to say, whether permutations or combinations are intended, but the idea appears to be that when we have got the key it is to be read both forwards and backwards, and hence that it is only different combinations which are to be considered. The number 231 makes this perfectly clear. This number is equal to the number of combinations of 22 things taken two at a time, as will be clear by an application of the above formula. Number of combinations of 22 dissimilar objects taken two at a time 122 to 2xlj. 22x21 2xl11x21 231. Thus the number 231 is the number of pairs that may be made from the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet, no letter being paired with itself and pairs in reversed order being excluded, as correctly shown in the diagram appended to Knut Stenring's translation of the Sepher Yetzirah. These 231 pairs symbolize, as it were, the first act of creation after that of the primary 22 forces themselves. They represent the first effect of the mutual operation of these forces on each other and the gates, so to speak, whereby they enter into manifestation. The number 231 is also, and the reason for this will be clear to the reader if he ponders it a moment, the sum of all the whole numbers up to and including 21. In the chapter of the Sepher Yetzirah dealing with the 7 double letters, the question is asked and answered, how did God fuse these letters together? The reply being, 2 stones build 2 houses, 3 stones build 6 houses, 4 stones build 24 houses, 578 appendix stones build 120 houses, 6 stones build 720 houses, 7 stones build 5040 houses. Make a beginning herefrom and calculate further what the mouth cannot pronounce and what the ear cannot hear. In his commentary on this passage, Dr. Wynne Westcott writes, these numbers have been a source of difference between the editors and copyists, hardly any 2 editors concurring. I have given the numbers arising from continual multiplication of the product by each succeeding unit from 1 to 7. These numbers are undoubtedly the correct ones, and are those also given, as in the quotation above, by Mr. Knut Stenring. But Drive Westcott does not explain why one should take the numbers arising from continual multiplication in the way he adopts, nor does Mr. Stenring enlighten us as to their significance. From what we have already seen, however, the meaning of them is obvious. The numbers are the factorials respectively of the numbers 2 to 7, and represent the number of permutations that can be got by taking respectively 2, 3, 4, and so on up to 7 of the letters all at a time. The closing sentence of the passage I have quoted from the Sepher Yetzirah is significant. As I have said, I have endeavored to make the computation, and we have seen where it leads. There are other verses in the Sepher Yetzirah which the mathematical theory of permutations and combinations is capable of enlightening. For example, the closing verse of the first chapter deals with the 6 permutations of the 3 letters of the ineffable name of God taken all at a time. But I have given the student the key, he must use it for himself. List of works used by us in our study of Sepher Yetzirah. Text A. The Mantua edition of Sepher Yetzirah, 1562. Text B. The text of Isaac Luria according to L. Goldschmidt, 1895. Text C. The text according to R. Saadiajayan. Text D. The text from an Arabic commentary on Sepher Yetzirah according to L. Goldschmidt, 1895. Cimarra French version of Sepher Yetzirah, by Comtesse Colomira de Cimarra, 1918, published by D'Urville. Westcott English version of Sepher Yetzirah, by Drive W. Wynne Westcott. Goldschmidt German version of Sepher Yetzirah, by L. Goldschmidt, 1895. Postellus-Abrahami Patriarcher Liberjezira, by Gulielmus Postellus, 1552. Pastoritas-Artis Kabbalisticrae Scriptores, a collection of Pastoritas, 1587. Rutangelius the Amsterdam Hebrew and Latin versions, by Rutangelius, 1642. Waite-The Doctrine and Literature of the Kabbalah, by A. E. Waite.